The sun shines on the floating square of Holy Light Magic Academy, and the giant crystal lampstand suspended in mid-air shines with colorful light, like a party for some nouveau riche to show off their wealth. The college building is a replica of a medieval castle, with spears reaching into the sky, and the walls covered with automatically creeping vines. Whenever students walk by, the vines make a pop-pop sound, as if in protest against the noise of human beings. There is a faint burnt smell in the air, which is the souvenir left by some unlucky ghost who practiced fireball last night. Mixed with the sweet aroma of the magic roses in the garden, it makes people feel their heads buzzing as soon as they inhale. Jiang Chen hugged his pet rabbit Chen Feng, squeezed into the pile of freshmen, covered in sweat. On the first day of school, he already regretted it. The noble children around him were all gorgeously dressed, with dazzling magic badges hung around their necks, and the wands in their hands would summon small flames or water droplets to show off their skills. He glanced down at the white-haired rabbit in his arms. Chen Feng was squinting his eyes and his ears were twitching slightly. A concentration camp for the mentally retarded has been opened. Look at these guys, fireballs are like setting off fireworks, and they will burn their crotches in no time. Chen Feng's inner monologue shot into Jiang Chen's mind like a machine gun, making him almost laugh out loud. "Shut up, you rabbit." Jiang Chen muttered quietly, attracting a sideways glance from a chubby boy next to him. The boy's name is Fatty Li. He is said to be a local nobleman. He is already in full mocking mode. "Hey, freshman, are you talking to a rabbit? Hahaha, the Magic Academy is not a zoo. Go home and raise pets." The freshmen around him laughed loudly, and some even pointed. Jiang Chen felt as if his face was as hot as if it had been roasted by a fireball. The drama of growing up and then suppressing began when he entered school. He is just an ordinary transfer student with no background in his family. His only specialty is that he can inexplicably understand the voices of animals. This thing sounds more like symptoms of mental illness in the magical world. Chen Feng rolled his eyes and continued to rant in his heart. Look, the mentally retarded leader took the lead in ridiculing, and what followed was a series of car accidents. Why did my rabbit live with such an unfortunate master? In the square, the bells rang and the opening ceremony began. The instructors descended slowly from the floating stairs. The leader was teacher Qin Feng. His silver hair was as serious as iron plate. His eyes were narrowed to a slit. He tapped the ground with his wand and summoned a deafening echo. "Freshmen, Holy Light Academy does not tolerate weaklings. The first class today is the summoning test. Whoever dares to lose control will get out of the academy." There were whispers in the crowd, some were excited, some were trembling. Jiang Chen was pushed by the crowd and staggered into the first row of floating classrooms. The classroom is a translucent crystal dome with floating desks underneath. When students sit on them, they are automatically fixed, like clouds holding their buttocks. Jiang Chen sat down, and there was a sudden boom next to him, and a girl sat down. She has waist-length hair, skin as white as snow, and wears a standard college robe. She looks cute and quiet, and her big eyes look a little innocent and cute. "Hi, classmate." The girl smiled, her voice as sweet as honey. "I'm Su Nuan, a freshman." Jiang Chen nodded, thinking that he finally met a normal person. Chen Feng nestled at his feet, his ears perked up, and his inner monologue exploded. "Normal person? This woman has nuclear bombs hidden in her eyes. Is human intuition a facade? Sitting next to my master, a disaster movie is about to begin." Teacher Qin Feng floated into the classroom, waved his magic wand, and a summoning circle appeared in the air. Green light flashed, accompanied by buzzing low-frequency vibrations that made people's eardrums itchy. The first group, stepped forward and cast the summoning spell. If you summon low-level monsters, those who lose control will have their credits deducted. The students in the front row took turns to join the battle. Some summoned small fire spirits, jumping and spraying sparks, and the audience applauded. Someone summoned water spirits, and the sound of gurgling water was clear and sweet. The girls around them screamed in admiration. "So handsome." That guy Li Fat summoned a little pig monster, humming and humming, which attracted a lot of laughter. He said proudly, "Look at my pig charging." It was Su Nuan's turn. She stood up smoothly, tapped the magic circle with her wand, and muttered, "Summon, low-level monsters." The air in the classroom suddenly froze, and everyone stared at her with wide eyes. Who wouldn't look forward to the debut of a well-behaved girl? The magic circle lit up with a green light, which was normal at first. Then a sticky mass squeezed out of the void, shaking like jelly. But the next second, there was a loud poof. The thing expanded into a giant slug, with a diameter of 3 meters. Its green body sprayed out fishy mucus, and the stench was like rotten snot mixed with the smell of sulfur, instantly filling the entire classroom. Ah! The scream exploded. Fatty Lee was the first to jump up, and the pig monster was so frightened that he kicked his butt. He fell to the ground and said, "My pig. What the hell is this?" The slug squirmed and flicked its tail, boom. Half of the classroom's crystal wall exploded, and fragments fell like raindrops. The sharp cracking sound was piercing, hot air mixed with slime spraying, and the students fled in panic with green juice on their faces. The floating desk tilted, and someone fell directly from a height of 10 meters, screaming, "Help! The summoning spell has become a summoning disaster." Teacher Qin Feng's face turned livid, and he waved his wand wildly to summon a water shield to block the mucus. His voice trembled, "Su Nuan. What kind of summons are you talking about? A giant slug? The genius of the kingdom can't be more than this when the control is so out of control." Su Nuan stood there, blinking her big innocent eyes, still holding the wand in her hand. "Teacher. I don't know, it grew up on its own." Her soft voice, combined with the messy look on her head covered in mucus, was incredibly cute. The escaping students around them stared wide-eyed, and some murmured, "Did she do it on purpose? How could a good girl summon such a monster?" Another girl screamed, "It stinks. My robe is ruined." Jiang Chen hugged Chen Feng and rolled out of the gap between the desks. Mucus covered his body, and the slippery touch made him feel nauseous. Chen Feng's hair was wet, and his heart was raging like a storm. The concentration camp for the mentally retarded humans has officially opened. This woman is definitely a bomb wizard. Look at her cute tricks in the blink of an eye. She pretends to be innocent but is really a murderer. "Master, why are you sitting next to her? Asking for a car accident? I'll bite you next time." Jiang Chen was panting and wiped off the green juice on his face. He almost vomited when he smelled the sour and rotten smell. "Rabbit, is your complaining useful? Run!" He grabbed Chen Feng and jumped over the gravel. Next to him, Fatty Lee was hit by a slug's tail and flew out of the classroom. An arc was drawn in the air. When he landed, he screamed, "My waist! Someone save Piggy!" The slugs continued to wreak havoc, and teacher Qin Feng finally summoned a thunder and lightning strike. Zila, lightning shot out, the burning smell became stronger, and the monster finally turned into green smoke and dissipated. The classroom was in a mess, crystal shards clinked to the ground, and the students slumped on the ground, staring at Su Nuan with wide eyes. Someone whispered, "She is the devil, right? Blow up the classroom on her first show." Qin Feng wiped his sweat, his voice trembling. "Su Nuan, the self-examination letter is due tomorrow. The whole class has a rest and the scene is cleaned up." After the show ended, Jiang Chen was picking up things in the rubble. Chen Feng shook off the mucus and continued to speak viciously in his heart. "The fake innocent girl has gone away. Master, are you still stunned? This place is a hell campus, transfer to another school quickly." He bent down and picked up a fallen magic notebook. The cover was gilded, and Su Nuan's name was clearly visible. Curiously, he opened the page. The first page was a standard spell note, but when he turned to the inner page, Jiang Chen's eyes widened. The page was full of graffiti, and the crooked handwriting said, "Blow up this crappy school." The first step of summoning slugs was successful. Hahaha. Those brainless teachers and students deserve to be sticky. There was also a cartoon slug drawn next to it, sticking out its tongue to mock. Su Nuan lowered her head, blinked pretending to be aggrieved, and smiled at Jiang Chen. Classmate, did I scare you just now? I'm sorry. A hint of cunning flashed in her eyes, and Jiang Chen's heart skipped a beat. This girl is anything but simple. Jiang Chen took a breath and had doubts in his heart. Is this girl weird? Well-behaved on the outside but rebellious on the inside? What's even weirder is that there is a piece of scratch paper sandwiched between the notes, titled, Oolong Report, Her Royal Highness is a Magic Fool, and it is recommended to punish her. The signature is actually Su Nuan's name. Jiang Chen's fingers squeezed the notebook and it made a squeaking sound. The gilded cover was still stained with green mucus, and the greasy touch made it squirm like a living thing, making his stomach churn. In the ruins of the classroom, broken crystals clinked to the ground, and a sour and rotten smell lingered in the air after the slugs dissipated, mixed with the smell of burnt monster hair. The students scattered coughing, some were fanning themselves with their robes, and their faces were streaked with green juice, looking as embarrassed as a group of snot elves fleeing. Fatty Lee climbed up from a distance, rubbed his waist and whistled to the pig monster. The little pig hummed, his eyes full of grievance. He stared in the direction of Jiang Chen and growled, Hey, newborn rabbit boy, this disaster has something to do with your rabbit, right? Sit farther away next time. The surrounding students were still talking about each other. Li Fatty got up, rubbed his waist and glared at Su Nuan who was walking away. There is definitely something wrong with that girl. Anyone who dares to sit next to her will end up in a mucus bath. Teacher Qin Feng looked from a distance, frowning, as if muttering, there is something wrong with this. Jiang Chen squeezed the note tightly, and Chen Feng's heart exploded. A disaster is imminent. If this report is handed in, the princess of the kingdom will be in trouble. Master, you picked up a nuclear bomb. His heartbeat was racing, wondering what series of disasters this Oolong report would trigger. Jiang Chen lowered his head and looked at Chen Feng. The rabbit shook off the mucus on its fur, its red eyes narrowed into slits, and its inner monologue was blasted into his mind like a barrage of bombardments. You have the nuclear bomb note in your hand, Master, are you still in a daze? The human brain retardation index is off the charts. Hand this thing over and wait to be hunted down by the princess army. I almost threw it away and pretended not to pick it up. Jiang Chen's heart tightened and he glanced at the inside pages of the notebook. The graffiti looked like ghost drawings. The magic idiot will blow up the classroom by himself. Next time I'll summon a volcano. Next to it, there was a drawing of a rabbit sticking out its tongue and mocking him, which looked exactly like Chen Feng himself. His head was buzzing. Homework. By the way, Qin Feng issued a notice before the start of school that new students must submit their summoning spell preview notes. He touched his broken notebook in his arms, which he had lost a long time ago. The one in front of him. Su Nuan's, with her name on the cover, should be suitable. The freshmen around were whispering, and someone pointed at Su Nuan's retreating back, with a trembling voice and a smile. Her blinking eyes are definitely fake. It's the first time in the history of the college that a good girl has summoned slugs. Another girl wiped green juice on her face and screamed, my hair. It stuck like a bird's nest. This is the smell can't be washed away in 3 days. Teacher Qin Feng wiped the residue on the wand, his silver hair was messy, his brows were furrowed, and he muttered to himself, it's so out of control. Su Nuan, no matter how tough your background is, you still have to write a review. His voice was as low as thunder, which made the nearby students shrink. Qin Feng took it, squinted at the cover, Su Nuan, and raised his brows. Jiang Chen. You handed in Su Nuan's notes for homework. Interesting. He turned to the first page. The standard spell notes were okay, and nodded, yeah, not bad. But with a swipe of his finger, graffiti on the inside page came into view, blow up this crappy school. The slug succeeded, and the magic idiot teacher deserves to be stuck. There was also a rabbit picture complaining about concentration camp for human brain retards. Qin Feng's silver hair stood up, his eyes were as round as copper bells, his fingers trembled as he clenched the notes, and his voice squeezed out of his throat, Jiang Chen. What is this? Are you slandering Su Nuan? The magic fool himself? Rabbit mocking picture. You, a freshman, provoke a genius student on the first day of school. Rabbit, shut up, this is a life-saving straw. Jiang Chen muttered softly, picked up Chen Feng, and walked towards Qin Feng on the gravel. The crystal slag under his feet made an ear-piercing click, and the hot air mixed with the stench hit his face. He took a deep breath and suppressed his nausea. Teacher. My preview notes. He handed over Su Nuan's notes, his palms were sweaty, and the cover was gilded and blinding. Jiang Chen's head went blank with a bang. The surrounding students heard the sound and gathered around. Fatty Li was the first to squeeze forward, and the pig monster knelt on his feet. He rubbed his waist and laughed, Hahaha. Rabbit boy, you're done. Idiot Su Nuan. She just blew up the classroom, and you still dare to scold her. A brainless rabbit deserves a brainless master. Female. The students widened their eyes and pointed, the newcomer is so bold. Su Nuan looks so cute, and he actually drew a rabbit to complain. Someone whispered, I heard that Su Nuan's family is a noble, now the newcomer is going to get out. The smell in the air became stronger, mixed with snickers, making Jiang Chen's back shiver. No, teacher. This isn't mine. I picked it up, and there's an own report in it. Jiang Chen was so anxious that he was sweating. Before he could finish his words, Chen Feng exploded in his heart, stupid master. An oolong report is exposed and the kingdom is about to collapse. This note is Su Nuan's self-defeat, and you're still taking the blame for her. Human logic equals 0. Qin Feng's face was ashen, and he hit the ground with his wand, and the echo made the gravel jump up. Shut up. Picked it up. Signed to Su Nuan, you framed her. One demerit, I'll explain it in the fireball class in the afternoon. Get out. He fluttered his sleeves, stuffed the notes in his arms, turned around and floated away, his silver hair trembling in the wind, his back full of murderous intent. In the afternoon fireball class, the floating classroom has been repaired, and the crystal dome is shining with new light, but the smell of burnt remains in the air, and the vine walls are still slapping, as if complaining about the disaster in the morning. The students sat on the suspended desks, their buttocks were as soft as clouds, but they still had lingering fears. Someone whispered, Su Nuan is here again. Where are the sequelae of slugs? Jiang Chen was pushed to the back row, and Fatty Li deliberately sat in front. The pig monster glared at him. Su Nuan walked through the door, her long hair swaying, she winked and smiled and sat next to Jiang Chen. Classmate, we meet again. I heard you handed me my notes at noon. Thank you. Her voice was sweet, her eyes sparkled cunningly, and the hem of her robe accidentally hooked, causing Jiang Chen's shoelaces to loosen. Jiang Chen slumped down on the rubble, and Chen Feng jumped out of his arms, his ears twitching, and his heart bursting. I missed it, congratulations on getting into the trap. Su Nuan, that bombshell girl, counterattack immediately. You can't even save your shoes. Pang Li took the lead in laughing, Pig Monster hummed in agreement, and the students around him whispered, the newbie calls Su Nuan a fool, you are so tired of living. Jiang Chen rubbed his face, and was about to cry, the first day of school, slime bath plus demerit, this is too harsh to suppress the desire to promote. Qin Feng floated in, with a neatly trimmed beard and serious silver hair. With a wave of his magic wand, a fireball array appeared in the center of the classroom. Red light flashed, heat waves hit his face, and the air buzzed and vibrated like an oven. Fireball. Low-level attack magic. Those who lose control will receive a demerit. Su Nuan, you demonstrate first and atone for your morning sin. Su Nuan stood up and blinked obediently. Yes, teacher. He tapped the magic circle with his wand and chanted, Fireball, condensation. It was normal at first, and the small fireball floated like a lantern. The students breathed a sigh of relief. Fatty Lee whispered, "Is it stable this time?" But the next second, boom! The fireball expanded into a volcano with a diameter of 5 meters. Orange-red flames shot out with a crash. The heat wave was like a tornado. The burning smell exploded instantly, mixed with the smell of sulfur, and the air was distorted by the burning. "Ah! Here we go again," screamed the frying pan. Lee Fat Pig was so frightened that the monster overturned the desk and rolled to the ground. "Pig, save me." The fireball flew out of control and scorched Qin Feng's beard. The silver-white beard turned to ashes with a pop and smoke filled the air. He stared and backed away, his voice trembling, "Su Nuan. The fireball turns into a fire dragon? Are you performing a self-destruction show?" The flames licked the dome, the crystal cracked, and the fragments rained down like fire. The hot air was mixed with the smell of burning, making the students sweat profusely, and the edges of their robes were scorched black. Su Nuan stood in the fire and blinked innocently. "Teacher, it has grown up on its own." The contrast exploded. The students around them stared wide-eyed, and someone murmured, "She is definitely a volcano elf. A good girl explodes continuously." The girl screamed, "It's so hot. My eyebrows are gone." Chen Feng nestled at Jiang Chen's feet, his hair was permed and curled, and his tongue was as vicious as a machine gun. "Princess, is this a volcanic eruption or a self-destruction performance? Human brain damage upgrades, Su Nuan equals mobile nuclear bomb. Master, run, this false report is going to detonate the Kingdom Security Council." Jiang Chen was shocked when he heard this. He picked up the rabbit and wanted to explain, "Teacher, this has something to do with notes." Su Nuan. Qin Feng summoned the ice shield and put out the fire with a click. His beard was wiped out and his face was as red as a monkey's butt. He glared at Jiang Chen. "Jiang Chen. And you? You slandered me in the morning and you dare to interrupt now? Another demerit. Su Nuan, double the review." The students snickered and gossiped. Li Pang rubbed his burnt buttocks and growled, "I heard that the newcomer called Su Nuan a magic fool in his notes." "Huh, a princess-level genius was hacked by a rabbit boy." "Princess?" Someone whispered, "Su Nuan is a princess." The rumor spread like a fireball. The newcomer called the princess a fool. "It's over, he will be arrested by the palace army." Su Nuan approached Jiang Chen, snickering and blinking. "Classmate, I'm sorry my magic is always out of control. Did I step on your shoe?" Her foot slipped and pop. Jiang Chen's shoes exploded, and the soles flew out and hit Fatty Lee in the face. He screamed, "Ouch! Rabbit Boy's shoes are a hidden weapon." Su Nuan pretended to exclaim, her eyes widened with a smile, "Ouch, my hands are slippery." Jiang Chen's shoes were broken, his toes were exposed to the wind, and he was shivering in the heat. The students around him glared and complained, "These two are poisonous. They will explode if they sit together in the classroom." After class, the ruins reappeared. Qin Feng wiped his beard and called with a trembling voice, "Su Nuan, Jiang Chen, the notice of the parent-teacher meeting has been sent. You two magic fools, serious warning." He waved his wand, and the letter flew out in a flash of light. The content was clear: Her Royal Highness Princess Su Nuan, her magic has gone out of control. Punishment is recommended. Attached is evidence of slander. The envelope shone with gold and went straight to the palace. The student's eyes widened, and Li Fat Pig Monster snorted, "Princess? The Kingdom Security meeting is about to begin. Newbie Rabbit, you are in trouble." The floating stone bricks in the corridor knocked and trembled. The soles of Jiang Chen's feet were as hot as stepping on live coals. The remains of his shoes were swaying, and gravel was caught between his toes. Every step stung like needles. The burnt smell mixed with the smell of sulfur rushed straight into the nose, and the snickers of the students echoed in the back of the head. the rabbit boy called the princess stupid, the palace army is coming to arrest her. Chen Feng arched in his arms, his white hair was curled into small curls, his red eyes rolled around, and his inner monologue was like a firecracker exploding. Stupid master, why are you running? The palace security meeting has been held. Lousy Rabbit Intelligence Network heard that bald Qin threw his notes at the king's face, and the ministers were taking turns calling Su Nuan a rebellious nuclear bomb idiot. The king was so angry that his dragon robe shook, and Su Nuan's father and daughter were slapped in the face with graffiti. The scene was worse than the bombing of your classroom. Human power game equals brain-dead conference, rabbit kebab countdown. Jiang Chen hugged Chen Feng and ran into the corridor. Rabbit's inner prophecy was like a doomsday clock, Pulong bombing of the kingdom. The identity of the princess is exposed, and you, the master, become the scapegoat, and your end result is rabbit kebabs. The burning smell lingers after the hot wind, and my heart beats like a drum. I wonder how big a storm the palace meeting will create. The scene switches to a scene in the palace conference hall, with golden pillars standing tall, crystal chandeliers shining bright starlight, marble floors that are discernible, and the air filled with incense. The noble ministers are wearing gorgeous robes, their beards are trembling, and their faces are ashen. The king's iron-blooded face flushed red, and the sleeves of his dragon robe slammed on the table, causing the jade cup to jingle and jingle. Su Nuan. My princess, bombed 2 classes in a row on the first day of school. Slugs flooded the classroom, and the fireball turned into a volcano and burned his beard. Is this rebellion, or is it a fool's performance? His voice exploded like thunder, and the echo made the minister's eardrums buzz. Some people covered their chests and coughed, and the scent of incense was instantly overshadowed by the stench of sweat. Qin Feng knelt down, with his silver hair hanging down. The confiscated notes were spread out on the table. The gilded cover was blinding and graffiti appeared on the paper. Your Majesty, here is the evidence. The preview notes handed in by the freshman Jiang Chen, signed Su Nuan, contained the words, "The magic idiot blew up the classroom by himself. The slug succeeded, and he will call a volcano next time." There was also a rabbit picture mocking the human brain-dead concentration camp. The princess is slandering the teacher, a serious warning. The ministers widened their eyes and took turns. After making some complaints, a fat minister rubbed his beard and laughed with a trembling voice. Your Highness, the princess, drew a rabbit and trolled the teacher. The rebellious idiot index is off the charts. Slug equals the new favorite of the kingdom. Another thin minister slapped the table and shook off the dust from his robe. The fireball and fire dragon self-destructed, pretending to be innocent in the blink of an eye. The contrast is cute like a volcano elf. Your Majesty, punishment. Confinement for a month. Laughter roared in the air, the incense became sultry, and beads of sweat rolled down. Su Nuan's father, the iron-armed duke, straightened his burly body and raised his beard to protect his daughter. Your Majesty. Nuaner has a high talent for magic. It was an accident that he lost control. The notes must have been forged, framed by the new student Jiang Chen. He waved his hand, and his magic power surged to summon evidence, but he was slapped in the face by Qin Feng's notes, with the graffiti rabbits mocking the brainlessness of humans directly in his eyes. The duke's eyes widened, and his fingers trembled as he squeezed the arm of the chair. Click, sawdust flew. This. Nuaner's self-portrait. The rabbit's ears are exactly the same. The king hit the table with his fist, cracks in the jade spread, sizzling, and his voice trembled like the precursor of a volcanic eruption. Nurse. The evidence is ironclad. Su Nuan, confine the palace, reflect on treason. Jiang Chen, expelled from the college, the whole family is investigating. Jiang Chen's legs went weak and he almost fell into the vine wall. He gasped like a bellows, Rabbit, you, intelligence network. What the hell? Chen Feng's ears twitched and he burst out in his heart, Academy Pigeon plus Mouse plus Fly Alliance, live broadcast in the palace. The princess self-deprecating graffiti is exposed. Will the kingdom laugh or collapse? Wake up quickly and break into the meeting to explain, otherwise you too will be hanged. Jiang Chen's head was buzzing, his heartbeat was beating like a war drum, and he gritted his teeth and turned towards the palace. The golden-domed palace floats in the clouds, with colorful lights shining through the magic barrier, and low voices of discussion are faintly heard in the air, like rolling thunder. Outside the campus, Jiang Chen hugged the rabbit and ran to the foot of the palace. Clouds and mist were swirling, and the barrier light curtain buzzed and pulsed like a living thing. He gritted his teeth and sprinted. "Rabbit, listen to me. It proves that the note was written by Su Nuan himself. If I understand your voice, I can." Before he could finish his words, boom! The barrier bounced off him like rubber. Jiang Chen spun in the air with an "ah" and hit the camouflaged bush. The branches and leaves flew in random directions. His butt hit the ground and hurt to the bone. Chen Feng rolled out of his arms. His white hair was stained with mud and his heart exploded. "Idiot. The palace barrier is anti-dragon level, you little rabbit want to die. The meeting is collapsing, Su Nuan's father is slapped in the face, and the king is about to issue an order. Alliance of human retarded people, Game of Thrones laughs like a rabbit." The bushes trembled, and Su Nuan jumped out disguised as a passerby girl. Her long hair was tied into 2 ponytails, and her robe was changed into a linen skirt. She blinked and snickered, "Oh, my roommate, Rabbit Boy. Are you coming to invade the palace too? Your shoes flew off, your toes are so cute." She hooked her foot, and Jiang Chen's only shoelaces snapped off. He stepped on marble with his bare feet, and the cold wind was biting. The patrolling footsteps of the surrounding guards, dong dong, the collision of armors, ding dang, the smell of incense mixed with chicken manure wafting in the air. Jiang Chen got up and yelled, "Princess! The note was made by you." Qin Feng went to the palace. "I have to explain." Su Nuan narrowed her eyes into crescent moons, and whispered closely, "Call me Nuan Nuan. Dad is protecting me, if you break in, you will die. But, the magic is out of control, call me some helpers." She waved her wand and muttered, "Chickens, come to play." Cuckoo. The next second, there was a loud bang in the palace conference hall. Countless colorful hens rushed out from the cracks in the ceiling, their wings fanned like hurricanes, their feathers covered the sky, and their screams were deafening. Chicken droppings hit the table like raindrops, and green and yellow shit splashed on the minister's robe. A fat minister vomited, with shit beads on his beard, and his voice trembled and screamed, "Chicken, chicken disaster. The princess's magic is out of control again." The thin minister's robe was sticky with shit, slippery and fell to the floor, rolling, and the chickens were pecked on the hair and screamed, "Rebellious fool upgraded. Calling chickens to attack the meeting." The king's dragon robe was spotted with green spots, his face was as black as the bottom of a pot, and he was waving his magic wand, pop pop, to beat the chickens. The smell of burnt feathers was overwhelming, mixed with sour chicken feces, and the hall became a chaos like chickens and dogs jumping around. Qin Feng's silver hair was entangled with chicken claws, and his beard was flying. Su Nuan. Is this revenge? Double the confinement. The duke protected his head and was pecked in the eye by the chicken, shouting, "Nuaner. You blew yourself up." Outside, Jiang Chen stared at the rooster crow, knowing it well. Su Nuan. You summoned the rooster to cause trouble. Su Nuan blinked innocently, slippery hands now, rush in to save the scene. The guard noticed that the iron boots were approaching with a dong dong, and the spears flashed coldly, "Intruder. Rabbit boy plus disguised girl, catch." Jiang Chen stepped back barefoot, and the soles of his feet were slippery. Chen Feng jumped on his shoulders, and his heart was like a savior. Crisis. Stupid master, listen to me. The rabbit evidence comes on. My inner monologue proves that Su Nuan's notes are self-drawn rabbits mocking her for being stupid. If you listen to the voices of animals, the ministers will be dumbfounded. Roar quickly, Rabbit said that the doodles in the notebook are the princess' self-deprecation. The ears drawn by Rabbit are absolutely the same. Human power game, Rabbit counterattack. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up, and he felt desperate and exhilarated. He jumped up and grabbed Su Nuan's hand. He bounced the barrier with a pop, but used the force to roll into the side door. The guard hit the wall with a thud and was knocked unconscious. In the chaos of the conference hall, he rushed into the center of the chickens, raining shit on his shoulders. The stench was filling the sky, and his roar was loud, "Stop! Your Majesty the King!" The note is not a slander, it is Princess Su Nuan's self-defeat. The evidence, the inner monologue of the rabbit. He grabbed Chen Feng and held the rabbit high. Chen Feng's red eyes were dripping, and he deliberately broadcast loudly in his heart, "Yes. I, Rabbit Chen Feng, saw with my own eyes that Su Nuan painted a rabbit and mocked himself as a magic idiot. The slug volcano is her self-destruction performance. Humans are brain-dead, but the princess is even more brain-dead. Her self-destructive graffiti makes her laugh like a rabbit. It wasn't written by Jiang Chen, it was picked up by the idiot master." Jiang Chen's translation was like thunder, Rabbit said. "The graffiti rabbit ears are my pet Chen Feng's true form, and Su Nuan painted it to mock her for being stupid. You understand the voice of animals, I prove it." The whole place was still, the chickens clucked and stopped their wings, and the rain of shit stopped. The minister's eyes widened. The fat minister's shit robe shook and he pointed at the rabbit with trembling fingers. "Rabbit, Rabbit talks. Inner monologue. Does the new student understand?" The thin minister got up, with feathery hair and a trembling voice. "Impossible. Rabbit evidence. The princess's self-confirmation." The king's dragon robe was stained with shit, and his eyes widened. Like a copper bell, the wand fell to the ground with a bang. "Jiang Chen, do you have the talent of hearing the voices of animals? A self-portrait of a rabbit mocking a princess as a fool. Su Nuan, this." The duke wiped his eyes, his burly body shook, his beard raised and laughed. Nuaner is self-defeating and rebellious, and the evidence is the rabbit's own testimony. Your Majesty, withdraw the punishment." The scene was extremely depressing. The ministers shrank their necks and whispered, "The princess is finished." Qin Fengqi wiped his sweat, and the duke turned pale. The scent of incense mixed with the stench of nervous sweat made the hall feel like a steamer. The scene was extremely chaotic, with chickens slamming into the chandelier, fragments like egg rain, incense turning into feces stinking hell, ministers scurrying with their heads covered, and their feet slipping with feces and plopping down in succession. The laughter was as dense as a machine gun. "Your Majesty. The princess calls for a chicken revolution." The game of power becomes a game of chicken power. The guards rushed in with a dong-dong, and the iron armor made a clack of sticky shit. Qin Feng's silver hair was tangled with chicken feathers, and his face was pale and trembling. "Rabbit, Rabbit spy. The ability to understand your heart, Jiang Chen, you hide it deeply." The guard's iron armor was sticky with shit, his spear trembled and he was dumbfounded. "Rabbit is a witness. #1 in the kingdom." The chickens dispersed with a pounce, and the smell of shit filled the hall. Comic, bursts of laughter. Rabbit kills the meeting. The princess calls herself an idiot. The ministers were shocked in turn, and the fat minister rubbed his belly. Brainless power game, was blasted by Rabbit. New talent. The thin minister spat, "Listen to the voices of animals, and a college legend is born." In the conference hall, the stench of shit filled the air like a thick fog, and the sticky green-yellow shit slurry was slippery on the floor. Every step made a squeaking sound like stepping on jelly. The ministers were breathing heavily, their robes were speckled with chicken feathers and feces. The fat minister rubbed his beard and laughed with a trembling voice. "Rabbit, Rabbit witness. The biggest joke in the history of the kingdom. Boy Jiang Chen, with your gift of listening to your own voice, you are simply a national teacher in the animal world." The thin minister crawled. He stood up, the chicken feathers on his head stood up like a crown, and pointed at Chen Feng with round eyes. "Spy rabbit, the red eyes are dripping, so weird. King, this ability needs to be investigated. What if the rabbit network is connected to the enemy country?" The green spots on the king's dragon robe shook, his face slowly turned from black to green, and his wand popped. Picking it up, his voice was as low as thunder. "Jiang Chen, the merits are equal to the faults. Su Nuan, the confinement is lifted, but the magic is out of control. Reflect. Rabbit is temporarily detained for investigation." The iron-armed duke swung his burly body, wiped the goo from his eyes and laughed. "Your Majesty is wise. Nuaner is extremely talented, self-defeating graffiti is purely rebellious and cute. Jiang Chen, thank you for saving the rabbit." Qin Feng's silver hair was tangled with chicken claws, and his face turned pale as he stared at Jiang Chen. "Young man, you have hidden enough to eavesdrop on the voices of animals. This is a forbidden talent in the academy, but you will be banned from the library for a week." The guards' iron armor clattered with sticky shit as they approached, the cold light of their spears flashed, and the sour rotten chicken shit mixed with the remnants of incense in the air was so pungent that it made people cry. Jiang Chen stepped on the excrement with his bare feet, and the soles of his feet were as slippery as ice. He almost fell. He hugged Chen Feng tightly and his heartbeat was pounding. Investigating rabbit? Overturning just after rescue. Chen Feng's white-haired excrement was rolled into a dung ball, and his red eyes rolled back. Firecrackers exploded in his heart. Idiot human being. Game of Thrones has turned into a rabbit kebab convention, and I haven't upgraded my intelligence network to GG. Run, the palace guard's brain retardation index is max, and the princess nuclear bomb girl drags you into a trap. Su Nuan swung, the ponytail was swaying, and there were poop spots on the disguised hemp skirt. He blinked and leaned close to Jiang Chen's ear. The hot and sweet breath was sweet. "Rabbit boy, join forces. My rebel alliance specializes in making mistakes and finding out who leaks secret notes. Let's sneak away first, in the library at night." See, she hooked her toes, and all that was left of Jiang Chen's shoelaces snapped off. His bare feet were completely free, and the cold hard marble stung the soles of his feet. He shrank with an ouch. Su Nuan giggled and pulled his wrist, and, swish, escaped through the side door through the clouds. Su Nuan blinked and moved closer to Jiang Chen, hooking his bare feet with her feet, snickering and whispering, "Rabbit boy, thank you for saving the scene. However, a new misunderstanding has come. The rabbit has been treated as a spy, and the palace wants to catch it for investigation. Let's join forces to find out who will leak the secret notes first, and continue the daily fun." Chen Feng's inner prophecy upgraded. New pit. Rabbit spy plus master's genius, a series of oolongs. The kingdom is laughing, but the kebab crisis is escalating. Human brains will never die. Jiang Chen's heartbeat is not even, the smell of shit is overwhelming, the eyes around him are adoring and shocked, the soles of his feet are slippery. He doesn't know when the next out-of-control disaster will come. In the afternoon, the sun shines on the college square, the floating stone bricks hum and pulsate, the magic fountain sprays rainbow water mist, and the air is fresh and fragrant with flowers. The freshmen passing by whisper, "I heard about the chicken shit revolution in the palace." The rabbit proves that the princess committed suicide. Jiang Chen listens to the voices of animals. What a magical skill. Jiang Chen stepped on the lawn barefoot, and his toes were filled with mud and itching. Chen Feng shook his hair and shook his shit in his arms, and gushed in his heart, "Escape from the chase of human beings, the whole army of shoes is wiped out, and the rabbit shit baths the nobles. Princess Alliance equals out-of-control disaster 2.0, the kebab crisis is postponed but not eliminated." Su Nuan changed into her student robe, bouncing her ponytails, and pulled him into the shadow corridor. "The first member, I, the magic runaway queen, the third. Hee, here we come. Meow, the prophecy has come." A ball of orange fur fell from the sky and hit Jiang Chen's shoulder. It was as fat as an orange ball. The cat's ears stood up, and the golden bell collar jingled. The round face squinted and stuck out its tongue. this prophet, Fat Orange, peeks into the thread of fate. Rabbit boy, you marry the nuclear bomb princess, the kingdom's chicken shit lasts forever, the ghost in the oolong note is an old fox in the palace, and you will win a treasure of 300 million gold coins at night. Join the alliance and pay a pound of fish. The students stared at each other, and Freshman A rubbed his eyes. What is Fat Cat talking about, Fatty Lee's pet who is a loser in the pig pen? Chen Feng has red eyes and a poisonous tongue like a machine gun. False prophets are really foodies. I have already locked you in with the Rabbit Intelligence Network. I secretly ate pigeons and dried fish last night. The prophecies were all based on fly gossip, and the brain retardation index of cats raised by humans is off the charts. Get away, orange dung ball. Jiang Chen's rabbit language rang out in his mind, and he couldn't help laughing. Rabbit said, you are a fake prophecy, foodie. Good news. All the information is from the Animal Network. Fat Orange's ears trembled, his bell rang, and his voice trembled, Rabbit. Rabbit can't read the mind. Su Nuan clapped his hands and said, welcome to the alliance, sneak into the library. At the entrance of the library, the giant oak door squeaks open and closes, the magical power of the branches and leaves pulses like a living lung, the bookshelf inside towers into the clouds, the floating books clack and automatically turn pages, the fragrance of ancient books is mixed with the musty smell, and the cracking candlelight casts strange shadows. The old librarian was as wrinkled as dry tree bark, and his one eye turned and scanned, no rabbits allowed. Teacher Qin's ban. Jiang Chen tiptoed with bare feet, the stone slabs under his feet were bone-chilling, and his heartbeat was, thumping, suppressed. Let's keep a low profile for now, check the source of the notes. Su Nuan blinked innocently, and hid the wand in her sleeves and muttered, invisibility, it's trivial, the magic power, buzzed, the air was distorted, her figure faded, but she exploded out of control with a pop. Su Nuan turned into a transparent ghost, her twin ponytails floated like a ghost, her eyes were wide open and glowing blue, her robes fluttered and made a whirring sound, which instantly frightened the administrator and made her one eye bulge. She leaned back and threw the chair with a wow, her head hit the bookshelf with a dong, and an avalanche of ancient books hit her head. Juice splashed on his black face. He stood up and pointed tremblingly at the air, ghost princess. A ghost whose magic is out of control. Help. The old man peed his pants, yellow water flowed down his pants, and the smell exploded with a musty smell. Students and passers-by stared at each other, the administrator is scared to death. The transparent ghost floats in the corridor, so scary. The fat orange bell trembled, the fat body shrank into a ball, and the voice trembled, the prophecy came true. The ghost disaster, the ghost's book cave. Chen Feng was ecstatic in his heart, Princess Nuclear Bomb upgraded Super Ghost Mode, the old human brain is broken, rabbit information, the mouse hides fake notes behind the bookshelf, the evidence is fabricated. Stupid master, come on. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up, and he rushed into the depths of the bookshelf, stepping on the scattered ink with his bare feet, and the ink smelled pungent. He opened the floating book, and there was a squeaking sound from the rat's nest behind him. A group of gray-furred rats were holding fake notes. Rabbit ears were scrawled on the paper, but the ink was fresh and the signature was forged. The inner monologue of the mouse leader was like a needle prick, idiot human being. I was instructed by the old fox in the palace to copy the princess's self-destruction notes and add false evidence to frame the rabbit boy. Who knew that the rabbit network was counter-investigating? Hide quickly, there is a roast rat crisis. Jiang Chen grabbed the fake note, raised it high and shouted, found it. The administrator hid false evidence, the rat's testimony, the palace ghost instigated it. He translated the rat language, and his voice was like thunder. The mouse said that the note was plagiarized from Su Nuan's original version, forged and framed. The mole is from the palace. Fat Orange jumped up, the bells jingled, and his round eyes widened and trembled, prophecy it's come true. The old fox is spying on 300 million people in the palace at night. Su Nuan's ghostly body appeared, and she patted Jiang Chen's shoulder with her translucent hand, which felt like a ghost's touch. "Detective Rabbit, apologize. I'm sorry, old man, I'm so scared." She winked and hooked her foot on the bookshelf. The book collapsed and the avalanche came, and the ink poured on Jiang Chen's head. His face was as black as a ghost. "Thief! Jiang Chen steals books." Qin Feng's voice exploded, and he rushed in with flying silver hair. The blue light of his wand buzzed, and the bookshelf boomed and locked in the air. The rabbit genius also stole it. The prohibition was violated, and he was expelled from the academy. He flicked his sleeves and robes, and the wind blades whooshed, cut the air, and the fragrance of ink turned into wind pressure and stung his skin. Jiang Chen ran barefoot, and the ink on the soles of his feet was slippery. Chen Feng jumped over his shoulders and saved the situation in his heart. "Stupid teacher is crazy and chases me. Princess, vines serve, mummy upgrades." Su Nuan blinked innocently. "Teacher, I'm sorry, my hands are slippery." The wand was waved wildly. "Let's play with vines." Green vines burst out with a crash from the floor. It came out like a giant python, wrapped around Qin Feng's legs and feet, squeaking and tightening, his silver hair flying and struggling. Su Nuan loses control and comes again. "Let go." The vines grew wildly around the whole body, only the head and eyes were exposed. The green mummy rolled to the ground, hit the bookshelf with dong dong, and fell continuously. The books avalanche like a mountain, and the ink rain, plop, hit. Qin Feng's muffled roar trembled. "Moo! Mummy? The rabbit evidence is fake." The inner ghost palace. Students gathered around the frying pan. Passerby A opened his eyes wide and rubbed his belly and laughed. Qin's bald head turned into a mummy. Princess Vines played a prank. The contrast is so cute. Freshman B's fingers trembled. Jiang Chen Rabbit listened to his heart and revealed the mole. It was amazing. The library turned into a battlefield, laughing to death. The fat orange bell rang wildly, and his fat body bounced. The prophecy is complete. Mummy teacher, clues to the mole are locked. Su Nuan apologized while pranking. The translucent hand poked the mummy's face. "Teacher, I'm sorry, be gentle next time." The vines squeaked loose. Qin Feng rolled out, covered with green juice and ink stains. His silver hair was sticky, his face was livid, and he stood up tremblingly. "You, Alliance. Palace Ghost. This division is reporting the king. But I won't pursue it for the time being. The evidence is conclusive." He left with a flick of his sleeves, green juice dripping from his footsteps, and his embarrassed back shocked the entire audience. Jiang Chen gasped and smeared his face, feeling itchy when he stepped on the ink paste with his bare feet. He picked up the fake notes and took a closer look. On the gold-gilded edges, the kingdom's emblem flickered faintly. The dragon badge is as thin as the eye of a needle, exclusive to the palace. Chen Feng's red eyes were filled with predictions in his heart. The hook is coming. The old fox in the inner palace. The night exploration adventure starts. The power game of human brain retardation. The rabbit kebab alliance expands. Su Nuan came closer, her twin tails rubbed against Jiang Chen's shoulders, and snickered and whispered, "Rabbit boy, the badge is exposed. Tonight visit the palace tonight, the entire alliance is dispatched." Orange dried hairtail, magic walking out of control. In the library, the smell of ink filled the air. Students looked at them with admiration, and there were constant snickers all around. The genius rabbit reveals the secret. The princess mummy teacher, the academy legend is born. Jiang Chen's heartbeat accelerated. The soles of his feet were slippery. The new crisis in the palace was like a dark cloud, and in the absurd and refreshing feeling, he didn't know what kind of out-of-control disaster awaited during the night exploration. The night was as thick as ink, and the floating stone bricks of the Magic Academy buzzed and pulsated under the moonlight, emitting a low magical wheezing sound. The fragrance of ink lingering in the air was mixed with green juice and mold, which was so pungent that the passing freshmen rubbed their noses and whispered, "The rabbit genius stays out at night." The ghost in the palace. The legend is about to explode the palace. Jiang Chen stepped barefoot on the wet and cold lawn, and the sticky mud and ink on the soles of his feet made a squeaking sound every time. Every step he took was like sinking into a black mud swamp, his heartbeat was pounding like a war drum. Chen Feng's white hair was still wrapped in dried excrement shells in his arms, his red eyes were rolling around and firecrackers exploded in his heart. Idiot master. The rabbit broke into the palace, all the IQ tax was paid. The old fox in the palace has a brain-dead power network, Alliance Foodie Orange plus nuclear bomb ghost equals kebab gift package, intelligence shows that the patrol density of the guards is max, GG is scheduled. Su Nuan's twin ponytails bounced like will-o'-the-wisps in the night wind. She hid her magic wand under her student robe and blinked close to Jiang Chen's face. The hot breath filled his nostrils with the girl's sweet floral fragrance. Rabbit boy, are you excited? The first battle of the Rebel Alliance, the night spy on the old fox. Tangerine, dried fish is ready, predicting the departure of 300 million gold coins. Get up, the fat orange ball squatted on his shoulders, the bell trembled slightly, his round face squinted and he licked his paws, pretending to be calm in his heart and actually thought about Jiang Chen. Meow, the thread of fate is locked, the inner ghost is hiding in the royal study, the true report exposes the princess's dark history. Kingdom Chicken Shit 2.0 explodes. Jean, the alliance is forever. The student passerby looked over and stared, and the freshman C whispered with trembling fingers. Jiang Chen ran barefoot at night, Su Nuan pulled his wrist, this alliance, the mortals will suffer when they fight. Jiang Chen's toes curled up and the grass stung and itched, and he waved his hands in embarrassment. Princess, you are exploring at night with your bare feet. If you lose control, the marble floor of the palace will be deadly cold. Su Nuan chuckled and hooked his ankle with her toes. He almost fell and hugged the tree. The bark of the tree was rough and rubbed against the soles of his feet. She blinked innocently, slip hands alliance to help, the rabbit genius will fly. The outer wall of the palace towers like the backbone of a giant beast, with magic vines hissing and squirming and patrolling. The moonlight shines on the golden roof and twinkles. The scent of incense lingers in the air, mixed with the smell of feces, and the guards' iron armor clicks like a pendulum in their patrol steps. The alliance was crawling in the grass, and the cold and wet soil hit his nose. Chen Feng's red eyes were spitting fire and he was mad in his heart. Human idiots sneak into the drama, live snakes bite people on the vines, and the fat orange balls roll out as bait. My intelligence, the side door rat passage leads directly to the zoo, and the pet alliance is complaining and waiting. Jiang the rabbit language in Chen's mind was like thunder, and he couldn't help but growl. Rabbit said, there's a mouse hole at the side door. Gather at the zoo, complain in your heart to distract the guards. Su Nuan's eyes sparkled, and he waved his wand, mouse summons, small case, the green light surged, but then exploded out of control. Hundreds of squirrels popped out of the grass. Their eyes were as red as lanterns. They all had internal monologues. The rabbit boy is here. The human nuclear bomb princess summoned a roast rat party. The old fox inside threw the dried fish last night, and I have revealed all the information. The chase has begun, the idiot guards get out. The rats rushed to the side door with squeaks, and the guards, dong dong, chased them. Rat infestation. The palace rat king rebels. Taking advantage of the chaos to drill into the hole, Jiang Chen's bare feet first explored. The rat hair and dirt sanded on the soles of his feet, and the smell was like a fermented cesspool. He groaned and endured. Princess, the hole is narrow and the orange is stuck. Fat orange squeezed, and the hole squeaked, stuck, and the bells dinged and struggled. Yuan was tearful and trembling. Meow, destiny is stuck. Dried fish, help. Su Nuan pushed her buttocks. Orange is stuck. Fat. The alliance is in crisis, push. Chen Feng's heart was filled with venomous tongues. Foodie stuck, profit turned into a meat plug. Stupid human beings pushed the butt. Intelligence, the zoo is close at hand, pets are stupid and ready to complain. Finally, the moonlight in the zoo was mottled, the cages were crunching and swaying, and the air was filled with animal smells and grass feed. The collective inner monologue of the pets bombarded Jiang Chen's mind. The rabbit spy invades. The human chasing battle is coming again. The palace's brainless guards are chasing the rats. I am the Lion King's intelligence. The inner ghost Duke Ironarm's secret room report. The peacock complains. The princess with twin tails pretends to be well behaved. The Real nuclear bomb destroys the garden. The parrot's heart. The alliance of idiots. The dream of dried orange fish is predicted to be shattered. The pumpkin trap in the royal study is waiting. The marble floor in the palace corridor was freezing cold. Jiang Chen's bare feet were slippery, and each step was like stepping on a blade. He was panicking and suppressing. The guards are patrolling intensively, and the old fox inside. If caught, the whole school is wanted. Su Nuan blinked innocently, and the wand was hidden in her sleeves. Disguise, turn into a maid. You are a servant, an orange broom rabbit pet, perfect penetration. She whispered the spell, and the pink light buzzed the package, but boom, surged out of control. Su Nuan's figure twisted and expanded, her twin ponytails turned into vines, her robe bulged into a giant orange ball, and when she landed on the ground, she turned into a giant pumpkin, with a diameter of 3 meters, rolling all over the corridor, gulu gulu, hitting the golden pillar with a loud dong dong sound, and the skin split open and juices splashed out. The sweet pumpkin fragrance hit her nostrils, and inside she roared, "It's out of control. Rabbit boy, push me and run away." The guards in armor, ding dong, rushed over, staring and rubbing their bellies, laughing. Pumpkin monster attacks the palace. Princess Magic Oolong 2.0, the kingdom's laughing stock has been upgraded. The leading guard captain had a short, fat body with loose armor, a head as bald as an egg, and eyes that were dull and dull. He repeatedly murmured, "Who are you?" Magical amnesia struck. He waved the blue light around with his wand and buzzed, but forgot the spell and poked his feet and jumped in circles. The animals in Jiang Chen's mind complained a lot. The brain-dead captain has amnesia loop, rabbit intelligence, poke the magic mark on his forehead, restart the chase. Chen Feng jumped over his shoulders and turned his red eyes wildly, shouting in his heart, "Stupid captain. I live broadcast of rabbit, who are you?" Human being, negative points for IQ, palace pig pen level. Jiang Chen boldly translated, holding up the rabbit. Rabbit said, "You have lost your memory and are mentally retarded. Pumpkins are pets, and the evil old fox is the enemy." The captain's eyes bulged and he pointed at the rabbit tremblingly, "Rabbit. Rabbit spy. Talk. Who are you?" He ran around chasing the rabbit, his fat legs slipped on the pumpkin juice, his armor fell apart, and the palace maid who passed by opened her eyes wide and covered her mouth and screamed, "Captain is chasing the pumpkin rabbit, a palace comedy." The pets collectively burst into laughter. The Lion King laughs, the chubby egghead chases the rabbit, and the IQ tax is refunded. The parrot makes trouble, the orange pumpkin rolls down the corridor, the whole human guard slips, and the ghost reports to death. The giant pumpkin, Gulu, rolled into the door of the imperial study room, and the golden door opened with a boom. The scrolls clattered, and the fragrance of ink filled the nostrils, and the candlelight crackled and swayed to elongate the mysterious shadow. Jiang Chen caught up with his bare feet, the pumpkin juice on the soles of his feet was sticky, and he almost fell. He opened the cracks in the pumpkin and pulled Su Nuan's hands. "Princess, the out-of-control queen. Where is the report from the inner ghost?" Su Nuan squeezed out half of her body, smeared her cheeks with orange juice, her twin ponytails were sticky and snickered. "Bunny saved the beauty the desk drawer, what a report." The fat orange bell trembled and rolled in, and the fat claws opened the drawer and creeped, and pulled out the parchment with golden dragon patterns and the words on the paper. The traces were distorted. Princess Su Nuan lost control of her magic. Her rebellious and self-defeating notes are authentic and not forged. Risks of hiding her identity, exposure will bring turmoil to the kingdom. Will the traitor Duke Iron Arm secretly discuss marriage with Jiang Chen to stabilize the situation? Jiang Chen's eyes widened and his heartbeat froze. "Duke, your father. The identity of the princess is exposed, and the kingdom is in chaos. Su Nuan's face turned pale, and he grabbed the paper tremblingly. Daddy's traitor? Oolong. No, the rebel alliance is in crisis. Chen Feng's red eyes thundered in his heart. The hook explodes. The iron-armed old fox protector turns black, the princess is exposed and forced to marry, and human power is upgraded. Run, the guards are coming. There were thunderous footsteps outside the corridor, and the captain got up and restarted. Who are you? Rebel spies. Zoo. The pets internally complained at the climax, everyone ridiculed, the dwarf chased 2.0, the pumpkin princess went to the study, the rabbit genius stole the report, the palace turned into a circus. Jiang Chen hugged the scroll in his arms, ran barefoot to La Su Nuan, the giant pumpkin's remnant, Gulu, rolled back to cover, knocked down the guards and fell in a series of dong-dong. The fat orange bell rang and bounced wildly. The prophecy has come true. The princess has a dark history, she really reports the crisis of 300 million, and the marriage will last forever. The alarm bell dinged outside the palace gate, the whole palace was brightly lit, and the guards roared, "Capture the rebel alliance. Rabbit and pumpkin monster." At the same time, Qin Feng's silver-haired figure flashed into the library, the palace secret parchment in his hand shaking, his livid face, eyes bulging and trembling, and growled, "Jiang Chen, rebel spy. Rabbit genius stealing palace secrets, the whole school is wanted. I will arrest you personally, and the mummy's revenge will be doubled." His wand's blue light buzzed loudly, and he summoned the wind blade to cut through the night sky. His footsteps clacked and green juice dripped, and the freshmen gathered around to watch the frying pan, Qin Baldhead's personal attack. Jiang Chen's rebels. Rumors of the palace are flying all over the place, so ridiculous. Jiang Chen's alliance swooped back to the side door, his bare feet were stinging with pumpkin juice, and Su Nuan gasped and whispered, "Rabbit boy, the real report has been exposed. The alliance's mutual trust is in crisis, Qin Feng is wanted to kill him, and the princess's identity is under a dark cloud." Chen Feng predicted in his heart, "Great danger. Start the machine." Amnesia Eggman plus Mummy Teacher double kill, all human beings are brain dead, the skewer's marriage night investigation is completed, a new round of out-of-control disaster countdown. The night wind roared, the alarm bells echoed, the palace's laughing stock escalated, and Qin Feng's arrest operation came like a dark tide. I don't know how the alliance will fight back against the princess exposure storm. The floating stone bricks at the edge of the college buzzed and trembled in the lingering sound of the alarm bell. The night fog was like a wet sponge, carrying the stench of a mixture of sweet pumpkin and feces-smelling mud and ink. It assaulted Jiang Chen's nostrils and made Jiang Chen's stomach churn. He stepped hard on the slippery grass with his bare feet, and the sticky juices on the soles of his feet squeaked and squeaked. Every step was like crushing the entrails of a pumpkin, and the stinging and itching ran up his calves. The rolled parchment in her arms was still hot with the gilded dragon pattern on her chest. Su Nuan's twin ponytails were messed up into a bird's nest. Her face was painted with orange juice and shimmered in the moonlight. Her student robe was torn to reveal her fair shoulders. She leaned against the tree trunk for breath, her chest rising and falling like a bellows. "Rabbit boy. Is the report really obtained? Daddy's molest. Marriage to stabilize the situation. The kingdom is in turmoil. The dark history of rebellion has been exposed. The alliance is finished." The fat orange ball rolled in the grass, the bell dinged, and the round tear-stained paws were scratching the mud. I was crying inwardly, meow, the dream of dried fish for 300 million is shattered, the Duke's old fox nurse is blackened, the rabbit genius is grilled, and the crisis max escape prediction has come true. Chen Feng's red eyes were dripping with the remains of his white-haired excrement shell. He squatted on Jiang Chen's shoulder and kept venomous in his heart, the alliance of idiots is spying on Gigi at night. The mole hook of Princess Pumpkin's father blew himself up. Human power has been upgraded. I have all the information network of the rabbit, the king of the palace rat has sent word, chubby egg. The captain with amnesia slipped and stabbed himself in the corridor. The guards chased the rats and laughed at the Palace Circus 2.0. But the bald Qin stormed the academy with murderous intent, the mummy's revenge plus the wanted rebels, and the dormitory GG was scheduled to go off. Jiang Chen's mind exploded like firecrackers, and he couldn't help but sigh. Roaring and rubbing the soles of his feet, Rabbit's genius intelligence, the palace thief is the source of the mistake. The Duke's guardian daughter is not a mole, the report has been stolen. Princess, take a breath first, take stock of the counterattack. He tore the corner of the robe and bound his feet, the rough fabric broke the blisters, and bloodshot eyes oozed out, and the stinging pain was faint. Magic pulse, the ability to listen to the voices of animals seems to have been baptized by the palace pet network. The roar of the Lion King and the taunt of the parrot echo in the mind more clearly. The rabbit spy escaped, the Duke's secret room was dried fish bait, the thieves and rats stole the papers and altered the dark history, the mole laughed to death. Su Nuan blinked and came closer, the hot breath on her face was filled with the scent of girly flowers and the sweetness of pumpkin. Gentlemen, rabbit feet wrapped in cloth. The real handwriting is my out-of-control graffiti, yes, but Daddy is secretly discussing marriage. Shame on you. Alliance training, teach you basic camouflage skills, avoid Qin Feng's pursuit. She tapped the center of Jiang Chen's eyebrows with her wand, pink light, buzzed slightly, the air was as sweet as syrup, and Jiang Chen's vision was blurred and passers-by were reborn. Turning into a shadow of a rabbit, Chen Feng burst out in his heart, the show of pretending to be stupid starts. The princess nuclear bomb teaches new tricks, the master turns into a man with bunny ears, the orange fat ball snowballs, intelligence, the dormitory is safe for 10 minutes, quick inventory. Jiang Chen's heartbeat was steady, and he took inventory of the parchment intelligence. Su Nuan's original work proved that the magic was out of control and was not forged, the Duke's protector's secret proposal to marry Jiang Chen was exposed, and the kingdom was in danger of instability. The theory that the thief and rat defaced and turned into a mole has irrefutable evidence from PET.com. He whispered, Princess, if the animal recording crystal records the voice, you can overturn Qin Feng's wanted list. Su Nuan's eyes sparkled, and she snickered and hooked his foot cloth. Rabbit boy upgraded to the mind-reading king. The alliance is permanent, and the reward is dried fish and oranges. In the brief silence, the passers-by of the new students poked their heads from afar, wide-eyed, and whispered with trembling fingers, Jiang Chen returns home at night with his bare feet wrapped in cloth. Su Nuan's orange juice face pulls his wrists, are the rumors of the Pumpkin Palace true? The rebel alliance is a mastermind, the alarm bell of the palace is still ringing, Qin Baldhead personally went to blow up the dormitory. Fat Orange licked his paws and narrowed his eyes inwardly. Brain-boosting Yugenchen, meow, the prophecy is over, the crisis bell is ringing, and the marriage skewer's night is not over yet. Jiang Chen took a deep breath of the night mist, and the feeling of improved abilities flowed through his brain like electricity. The pet network intelligence network expanded, the Rat King whispered that the guards were still chasing the remains of the pumpkin, and the peacock mocked the Duke's old fox fish dried hidden scroll. Feeling slightly refreshed, he smiled confidently. It's the moment when the rabbit's genius strikes back. Before he could finish his words, boom, the sky collapsed. The floating stone bricks in the dormitory area crunched and shattered, the green juice wind blade whooshed to tear through the night fog. Qin Feng's silver-haired figure led the magic hound team to attack, the black-haired giant dog snorted, whirring, and breathed out the smell of fire and sulfur, and its red eyes locked on Jiang Chen's, wow, and barked an inner monologue. Rabbit rebel. The master's mummy is revenged, bites off the bare feet and legs, and crushes the palace secrets. The blue light of Qin Feng's wand surged, his face was livid, his eyes were bulging and trembling, and he shouted, Jiang Chen. The rabbit genius rebel spy stole the true report of the palace, and doubled the revenge of the mummy. Hounds, kill the Pumpkin Alliance. The hounds pounced with a bang, their minions clicked to grab the stone bricks and sparks flew. The door of the freshman dormitory exploded with a bang bang, and passers-by screamed, Qin Bald Head Hound Team. Jiang Chen is wanted for rebellion, and his bare feet are still smiling. The dormitory has turned into a battlefield, and the gods are fighting. Jiang Chen's heartbeat was pounding, and he kicked the grass with his bare feet and ran wildly. Princess, Qin Feng personally marches. Gigi in the dormitory, run away. Su Nuan's ponytails bounced, and the wand was waved to summon the escape wind spirit shield, little case, the green and pink light was buzzing out of control. Boom dash, a tornado, whistled, erupted, a gray-black vortex with a diameter of 10 meters swallowed stone bricks, the bell tower of the college, crunched, tilted and, bang, flew into the air, the bells, clanged, distorted and reverberated like a ghost crying, the debris, clacked, and the rain hit the hounds, wow, and ran around, Qin Feng's silver hair flew backwards and hit the tree, thump, green juice sprayed and he coughed awkwardly. Out of control tornado idiot show. Problem Princess Su Nuan, my master's wind blade counterattack. Chen Feng's red eyes turned to the rescue machine gun in his heart, tornado nuclear princess. Stupid hound is chasing after it, I predict, bell tower fragments smash the road, pet net rat hole back door leads directly to the square, orange bells lead the way, escape quickly. Human beings are all GG, kebab marriage crisis escalates. Jiang Chen's rabbit language navigation in his mind raised Chen Feng and shouted, rabbit said, bell tower rain cover, back door rat hole escapes the square. Fat orange bells, ding bell, bombs jumping in the lead, her round but twisting the grass, Su Nuan pulled Jiang Chen's wrist and laughed, rabbit genius navigation king the tornado blew away the bell tower, the laughing stock of the kingdom 3.0. The hound team barked and bit them, but was hit by the fragments and was dizzy. The freshman watched with wide eyes and trembled and screamed, tornado blowing the bell tower. Su Nuan blew the bell tower. Jiang Chen's nuclear bomb summoned, Jiang Chen's rabbit predicted escape, Qin balled through the tree and took a green juice bath, it's a ridiculous campus apocalypse. The square was brightly lit, the ministers gathered with black robes flying, the king's dragon robe with green spots came in person, and the wand thundered down the field. The burly figure of the iron-armed duke, with trembling iron arms, stared and roared, the rebel alliance is overthrowing the kingdom. Jiang Chen, the idiot leader, secretly reported the truth to make me a traitor. The king's beard and hair were fluttering, and his eyes were distracted as he scanned majestically, the palace alarm bell, pumpkin rabbit monster, bell tower flying in the sky, Ton where are the rebels? Subvert the idiot and impose a magic seal on him. The ministers pointed at Jiang Chen and whispered tremblingly, the tornado is blowing on the campus, the princess's dark history is exposed, and the kingdom is in turmoil. Jiang Chen was panting and surrounded by hounds, and the blood blisters on the soles of his feet were stinging and despairing. He thought, it's over, the rebel leader is irrefutable, and the marriage is in vain. Su Nuan squeezed forward, her twin ponytails waving wildly to protect Jiang Chen, father, the king. The rabbit boy is innocent, the palace thief made a mistake, he listened to the animal evidence. She raised her wand high to protect her shortcomings, and the pink light, buzzed, backlash. Pa, the figure twisted and shrank, the robe turned into a bunny ear outfit, the pink and black bunny girl's shape, popped, to the ground, her tail, fluttered, and her ears stood up and she blinked innocently, the snow-white thighs shone with moonlight and the sweet fragrance of pumpkin orange juice lingered in her nostrils. The whole place collapsed. The king's robe trembled and his eyes widened and he staggered back, rabbit, bunny girl princess. Su Nuan's rebellious nature was exposed, the magic backfired on the campus show, and the kingdom was the laughingstock of the kingdom. The minister's jaws were dislocated, and the iron-armed duke's burly body trembled, covering his face and shouting, Nuan rabbit is pretending to protect a short fool. Daddy's mole is unjustly accused, and the marriage tool is still laughing. Qin Feng climbed a tree and sprayed green juice on his head, his silver hair was sticky and he stared and rubbed it. Belly laughed, bunny girl nuclear bomb. The mummy died laughing in revenge, the division is wanted. Passers-by burst into tears and beat the ground, Princess Bunny Girl protects Jiang Chen. Tornado clock tower plus rabbit ears tail, campus circus in full swing, Rebel Alliance Fairy CP. The fat orange bell trembled with ecstasy in his heart. Meow bunny girl's prophecy has come true, dried fish rabbit ears dreams are broken, crisis laughs max. Jiang Chen took advantage of the chaos and took a deep breath, and activated the animal recording crystal in his mind. The voice of the palace pet network reappeared. The Rat King complained, the thief rat stole the book and altered the black history, it is not the Duke's mole. The Lion King mocked, the chubby egghead slipped while chasing the rabbit, and the guard was a brainless pumpkin. Get out of the corridor. The parrot is telling the truth about the secret discussion of the guardian daughter, and the marriage is at work and the thief is at work. He held up the crystal, and the rabbit voice echoed in the square, like the chirping of all beasts, listen. Animal evidence, the oolong is from the palace thief, non-subversion rebels. The king's ears stood up, his dragon robe trembled and his eyes widened, rabbit. Parrot Lion King live broadcast. Jiang Chen's mind-reading genius, the ironclad thief, the kingdom's laughing stock is temporarily solved. The ministers rubbed their eyes and whispered, idiot. The leader becomes the savior Rabbit King, and the rebellious nature of the Princess Bunny Girl is revealed, and the campus legend is revealed. Qin Fengqi lowered his wand, and the green juice dripped. His livid face twitched, the mummy, was ruined by animals again. The wanted case is suspended, but the Bunny Girl problem is exposed. The crisis was temporarily resolved, and the feeling of pleasure was like a tornado. Su Nuan's rabbit ears fluttered and blinked towards Jiang Chen, and her tail hooked his footcloth. The hot breath hit his nostrils. Rabbit Boy's mind-reading king came to the rescue. The princess's rebellious nature was exposed, and the father's molest was cleared, but the mastermind behind the palace conspiracy thief was not eliminated. Officially joined the gang to fight back, the Bunny Girl version of the alliance, walking with 3 pounds of dried fish, Chen Feng's inner firecracker, temporary interpretation of GG, new crisis prediction, Bunny Girl nuclear bomb plus mind-reading skewers, the dark hand of the old fox in the palace emerges, the mummy Qin Baldhead's revenge 3.0, the countdown to the sequel of the kingdom's circus. The laughter in the square has not disappeared, the dark shadow of the palace in the distance is flickering, the unknown conspiracy is coming like night fog, and the black cloud of tension is overwhelming. The lights in the square flickered like will-o'-the-wisps, and the sound of the remaining pieces of the clock tower hitting the ground echoed. The air was filled with the sweet smell of pumpkins mixed with the breath of sulfur hounds, making it sticky as if they had swallowed rotten fruit pulp. Jiang Chen stepped on the quartz with his bare feet, blood bubbles burst and stung his legs, and the wrapping cloth was stained with red and black mud. He panted against Su Nuan's rabbit-eared shoulder, the hot girl's body fragrance mixed with orange juice was sweet and tangy, and the lingering sounds of the pet network in his mind were buzzing. The Rat King snickered, and the Lion King continued to roar. The freshman passers-by formed a black circle from a distance, their eyes bulged and their fingers trembled as they whispered, the Bunny Girl protects the bunny genius. The animal recording is a comeback, the kingdom is still laughing stock, Qin's bald head, green face, livid face, vengeful eyes, the shadow of the palace flickers, a new wanted order. The green spots on the king's dragon robe slowly faded. He retreated, his beard and hair fluttering, his eyes distracted and murmured, I believe the animal proof for now. But the thief is behind the thief, the rebel alliance is keeping a close eye, and the kingdom is turbulent and dark clouds are overwhelming. The iron-armed duke's burly iron arms trembled and he covered his face. Su Nuan's rabbit ears fluttered at his cheek, and her tail hooked into the foot wrap to spray hot air into her ears. Rabbit Boy, the Bunny Girl version of the alliance is officially opened. 3 pounds of dried fish will be cashed out tonight, and you will hide in the dormitory to lick your wounds. She tapped her wand lightly, and the pink light buzzed slightly in an attempt to he undressed in the rabbit costume, but the pop backfired and the tail whipped his butt wildly. Ouch was heard, and all the freshmen burst into tears and beat the ground, Princess whipping the rabbit tail on her own. The sequel to the nuclear bomb, the crisis laughs to the max. Chen Feng's eyes rolled down her shoulders, and the machine gun in her heart was, the Bunny Girl's self-drawing idiot show. The Idiot Alliance is reorganized for 10 minutes, the Qin Bald Hound team is reorganized, the Palace Mafia Fox Assassin infiltrates the prophecy, Pet Network Alert, Rat Hole Intelligence Upgrade, Countdown to the Darkened Version of the Kingdom Circus. Your feet are rotten, lick them quickly. The fat orange bell, dingling, rolled forward to lead the way, and the round but twisted the grass, sha-sha, to cover. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and ran to the dormitory, the night fog wrapped in the corpse's stink pressing down his throat, and the dark shadow of the palace in the distance scratched his heart like sharp claws. Who is behind the thief? The marriage was cleared up, but a bigger conspiracy was revealed. The dormitory's floating stone bricks creaked and the aftershocks continued, the door slammed shut, and candlelight flickered, reflecting blood and footprints on the walls. Jiang Chen was paralyzed on the bed, and Su Nuan pretended to sit cross-legged, and her tail unconsciously brushed against his itchy knees. King Rabbit Mind Reader, teach me to control the devil and not lose control. The first lesson of school tomorrow, fire and rain practice, Qin Feng stalking, misunderstandings and misunderstandings. She stuffed a 3-pound paper bag of dried fish, the salty smell hit her nose and blood. Chen Feng threw it into the bag and screamed inwardly, Dried Fish Alliance benefits. The Princess Barbecue Queen predicted, the twin frog princes are entangled in the inner cesspit. I live broadcast the poisonous tongue, the kingdom is black, the clouds are pressing down on the rabbit's head. Jiang Chen rubbed the blood blisters on his feet, his magic power pulsating and his mind clearing. Pet Network, Corridor Rat King whispered, the fox assassin sneaked into the college garden, and the palace gangster assassinated the rabbit genius. His heartbeat was beating like a war drum, and his chest was suppressed like an iron pincer. Princess, the palace fox is here. The crisis has not been resolved, and the classroom has become a battlefield. Su Nuan raised her rabbit ears and winked and snickered, little case, the Bunny Girl Alliance is invincible. Go to sleep, it's a great time to start school under the dark clouds. It was dawn, and the remains of the college's bell tower were ringing distortedly. The bells of the classroom on the first day of school were as harsh as an alarm. The stone bricks on the floating platform of the classroom are slippery, the morning mist and the smell of burnt pumpkins permeate the air, and the students' robes rustle. The freshmen sit huddled together, staring and whispering, Princess Bunny bombed last night. Jiang Chen's barefoot mind-reading king made a comeback, Qin's bald head has green juice with vengeful eyes, and the twin perverted demons failed to show up. Jiang Chen wearing new cloth shoes, she walked with difficulty. The soles of her feet ached like needles. She sat next to Su Nuan in her bunny costume. Her magic power failed to be unlocked. Her pink and black bunny ears and tail stood up and flickered, and her snow-white thighs were looming under her robe. A passerby, a freshman, had a dislocated chin and a nosebleed, Princess Bunny Girl in class. The married CP sat next to her barefoot, having an affair. Proof, the campus version of the kingdom is in turmoil. Qin Feng stood on the podium with sticky green juice and a pale face, his wand buzzed with blue light, his eyes bulged and Jiang Chen tremblingly shouted, Rabbit rebels, the animal recording is temporarily unavailable, but the problem princess is on death row. Today's fire and rain magic battle, the one who loses control, the demon. The dog lay at his feet and breathed, huffing, with the smell of sulfur. Chen Feng's shoulders were red and his eyes were firecrackers in his heart, Bald Mummy's Revenge 3.0. The Princess Barbecue Master predicted, the twin frog prince's inner entanglements were broadcast live in the cesspit, the master taught the devil to have an affair and misunderstood the max, and the dark clouds overcame the city and the frog rain began. The twin brothers rushed out of the front row, one fat and the other thin in absurd contrast, the fatly frog, a green-skinned frog body wearing a prince's robe, his tongue slapping to suck out the air and cooing and feeling broken inside, the thin king frog, a frog-headed prince body, his webbed feet slapping, the talc bricks croaking and feeling entangled in his heart. The freshman's eyes widened and his fingers trembled as he laughed wildly, the twin demons failed. The frog princes swapped identities, the prince frog tongue show, the frog prince danced with webbed feet, the frog version of the campus circus. Princely Frog's robe has a bulging belly, and his tongue is wrapped around the wand, and he is lonely at heart. By Friar, my brother turned into a frog-headed prince and I lost control of the exchange spell last night. The skinny monkey brother peeked into my sister's heart and my dream was shattered. I am embarrassed by my frog-tongued sister. The rabbit genius heard GG, and the princess made a reservation for the barbecue frog legs. King Frog's frog-headed prince's robe, the webbed feet stepped on the air and fell, and the entanglements in his heart squirted wildly. The fat pig brother prince's body and frog tongue are swaying, all the sisters' fans are spraying, the identity is exchanged to steal the girl's date in class, the red eye on the rabbit's shoulder is eavesdropping, Chen Feng's poisonous tongue is causing trouble. Qin's bald head seals the demon, and the frog rain is in danger, the machine is over the top. Chen Feng's red eyes turned wildly and he squirted inwardly, the twin frog princes are entangled in the shit pit. The fat frog steals the thin frog sister's fan, and the exchange is out of control, and the princess roasts the frog legs in the rain, and I predict, black cloud in the barbecue master alliance. Qin Feng waved his magic wand, and the fire rain clouds, rumbling, gathered in the sky above the classroom. The red fire droplets hissed and burned his nose, and the stone bricks sizzled, smoked and scorched. The freshman shrieked and shrank back, fire rain actual combat. Twin frog rain melee, bunny girl lost control of reservation, kingdom roast chicken campus. Su Nuan's rabbit ears stood up excitedly, holding up the wand, pink light surged wildly, fire rain technique, small case rabbit boy teaches the control method. Jiang Chen whispered, concentrate your mind to lock the range, don't nuclear bomb. She nodded and blinked, the wand buzzed and the fire rain erupted, but out of control, boom dash. The red fire pillar whistled 5 meters in diameter and swallowed the platform, the tongues of fire popped, licked the stone bricks, the lava juice flowed, clatter, the campus roast chicken crunched and fell, and the charred black feathers flew everywhere, and the crispy and tangy smell mixed with burnt hair. The new passers-by glared and trembled, holding their heads and running away. Princess rains nuclear bombs. Roasted chicken rains on the head, frog prince grills tongues on skewers, Qin baldhead's green juice upgrades to black charcoal. The twins are heartbroken, Li Wana's tongue, cuckoo, rolls the grilled chicken, the dream of barbecue frog legs is broken. The princess upgrades to a grilled chicken master, and the skinny brother's webbed feet melt. King Frog's webbed feet croak, slippery lava, sister fans grilled chicken show GG, swapping identities and exposing the embarrassment. Chen Feng's inner rescue machine gun, the princess barbecues the queen's nuclear bomb. The entanglement of the twin frogs is cooked, I predict, the master will teach and control the fornication and misunderstanding, Qin's bald hound bites the leg 2.0, black clouds press the frog's head. The classroom tilted with a bang, and the fire rained, the fragments hissed, and the rain fell and hit the table with a pop. Qin Feng's silver hair burned and his edges were as green as iron and he shouted, bunny girl Su Nuan lost control and had an affair. Jiang Chen's rabbit rebels, and the hounds bit off the legs. The hounds wow and pounced on his minions, sparks flying, and the sulphurous breath smoked his eyes. Jiang Chen pulled Su Nuan's rabbit tail and ran wildly, the blood bubbles on the soles of his feet burst and stinging, despair surged into his heart, princess, the fire and rain melt the platform. Qin Feng misunderstood the ironclad evidence of illicit affairs, and the demon sealing arrest was revived. Su Nuan swung her tail and twitched her fiery tongue, ouch, and laughed, rabbit boy controls the devil's ears. Sweet words misunderstanding max, the kingdom's adultery is the laughingstock. The freshman watched with trembling fingers and screamed, the bunny girl pulls the rabbit's tail to escape the fire rain. The twin frogs are entangled in the excrement in their hearts, and the Qin bald-headed hound is overwhelmed by the dark clouds, the campus doomsday of inversion. The pet network alarm in Jiang Chen's mind exploded, the garden fox assassin was sneaking with red eyes, whispering in his heart, palace black order, assassinate the rabbit mind-reading king, bite out the throat of the king of oolongs and never die. He held up Chen Feng and shouted, rabbit genius alarm, the fox assassin sneaked into the garden. The inner entanglement of the twin frogs confirmed that they exchanged peeping, and the rain of fire covered their escape. Chen Feng's red eyes dripped with tears and he was ecstatic in his heart. The black hand of the fox assassin emerges. The twin frogs are disrupting the live broadcast, and the animal war in the Princess Barbecue Alliance is about to break out. I predict, a melee on the pet network, the black clouds of the kingdom will crush the rabbits. The blue light of Qin Feng's wand surged and the embers of fire and rain sizzled on the feet. The stone bricks on the edge of the classroom crunched and fell, and the oppressive black cloud shrouded like a fox shadow. The assassination crisis bell will ring. Stone bricks crunched and cracked like bones, the embers of fire and rain burned the soles of the feet, new cloth shoes emitted smoke and pungent smell, lava juice poured along the edge of the floating platform, and the grass on the campus fell with a bang, causing scorched earth and black smoke to rise into the sky. Jiang Chen tightened his grip on Su Nuan's rabbit tail and ran wildly. The hot and fluffy tail tickled his fingers, and the girl's rabbit ears fluttered across his cheeks. The scent of orange mixed with the stench of burnt hair mixed with the stench of burnt hair. The iron pliers in his heart tightened and despair swallowed his chest like lava. Pet network alert blew his brain. The fox in the garden lurked with red eyes and growled in his heart, bite the rabbit's throat, the black hand of the palace will never be able to read the mind. The hound behind Qin Feng's blue light wand surged, wooing, the sulfur minions and sparks flew and chased the roots of the legs, and the newborn passers-by rolled away holding their heads. The ground fingers trembled and screamed, the bunny girl pulls her tail to escape the sea of fire. Qin's bald-headed hound black charcoal hunts, the fox assassin black cloud assassinates, the kingdom campus of an apocalypse, the twin frog skewers live broadcast collapse of the inner cesspit. The twinsly frog's tongue, cuckoo, curled up the burnt chicken legs, and the king frog's webbed feet melted and slipped, croak, entangled in the cesspit, exchanged stolen girls' dreams to pieces and roasted. Rabbit genius pet network collapses and dies, Princess Barbecue Alliance frog legs forever. Jiang Chen's mind was buzzing with the pet network like a tangled mess, and psychological games like knives. The fox was directly exposed, Qin Feng misunderstood the ironclad evidence of liaison, and the demon's arrest was revived, and the kingdom's laughing stock upgraded the rebel black name. He concealed his escape, and the assassin's minions broke the throat and sprayed blood on the spot. The gangsters jumped over the wall to collectively assassinate the Dried Fish Alliance in the dormitory and wiped out the whole alliance. The blood bubbles on the soles of the feet burst and a squeak burst and pain ran through the spine. He gritted his teeth and roared, Chen Feng, fire your poisonous tongue. The fox is causing trouble in his heart, don't let him get close. The red-eyed rabbit on his shoulder raised his inner machine gun and blasted, the idiot master finally wakes up. I am a poisonous rabbit versus a stupid fox in the palace, the battle has begun. Fox, you are a red-eyed idiot. I eavesdropped on my live broadcast last night. Did you dream of digging out your eyeballs with the rabbit's paws and using them as fish? Pet Network full channel live broadcast, the fox assassin licked the rabbit genius GG, and the kingdom's black hand fox claws were cut off. The fox garden shrub, Sha, sneaked in with red eyes and retorted inwardly, poison rabbit shit beetle get out of here. The black cloud is pressing down on the rabbit's head, and the bunny girl is grilling the fox legs. Chen Feng's red eyes flashed and firecrackers exploded in his heart. Haha, a stupid fox licks the palaces but and thinks he is the king of assassination. The Rat King whispered that you stole the chicken leg last night and was exposed by the fat orange bell. The twin frogs are better than you, I predict, the fox's claws will be broken, and the rabbit's poisonous tongue will win. Jiang Chen heard the corner of his mouth twitching and a smile burst out in desperation, and there was a glimmer in his heart. The animal rant stalled the fox, the bunny girl Su Nuan acted cute and contrasted to cover, Qin Feng's hound misunderstood and transferred the school worker's weird assist. He suddenly turned around and raised Chen Feng high in the direction of the fox and yelled, Pet Network ironclad evidence. The fox assassinated the palace black hand, Chen Feng's poisonous tongue live broadcast ruined it, Wong the national conspiracy has emerged. The freshman passerby stared, smacking his chin on the ground and trembling with his fingers. Rabbit genius pet civil war. Poison rabbit versus red-eyed fox's voice of machine gun. The clouds of laughter turned the campus dark. Qin Feng's bald-headed hound paused in silence. Qin Feng's blue light wand stopped the silver-haired black charcoal face, twisted his throat. Golu swallowed the hound, and gasped with sulfur. Eyes protruding, heartbroken. Rabbit Rebel Animal Alliance. Fox's Mafia Palace Decree. Misunderstanding fornication is temporarily put aside. Hound bites the wrong leg. Su Nuan's rabbit ears raised her tail excitedly and swung Jiang Chen's but wildly, making a crisp sound and making a cute wink. Rabbit boy pet battle is super cute. Fox idiot came to chase the bunny girl alliance. A small case of thunder cloud skills. Blast away stupid fox. The pink light of her wand burst into the air, and the dark clouds in the sky, bang, and condensed with thunder and ear-piercing blue lightning. The air was scorching and smelly. The freshmen on the road hugged their heads and rolled to the ground, crying and laughing wildly. Princess Bunny Girl is cute and summons thunder. The fire and rain nuclear bombs continue to strike the fox. Qin Baldhead's office is scheduled to be Black Charcoal 2.0, the thunderstorm oven melee in the Kingdom campus. Thundercloud lost control and, boom. The blue electric column, hissed, with a diameter of 3 meters tore through the garden shrubs and exploded, causing clods of earth to fly everywhere. The fox's red eyes, ouched, and howled miserably, and its fur flew away. His heart was shattered. The bunny girl struck the palace claws with lightning. In the prophecy of the poisonous rabbit, the secret letter dropped GG, and the black hand was exposed. However, the remaining electricity sizzled, deflected and exploded. Qin Feng's office stone tower, bang, the top glass shattered, crash, rain fell, blue flames, whistled, swallowed the wooden table, documents, burned incense and mixed with the sour smell of ink. Qin Feng's livid face instantly turned green juice and black charcoal to upgrade the iron tower and roared, Su Nuan Bunny Girl Thunderbolt Master's office. Fornicating with the Rabbit Alliance to destroy evidence. No, Fox. The secret order of the Black Raccoon is exposed. Hound, turned to bite the fox. The hound, Wang, turned around and locked the fox with his claws. The blue light of Qin Feng's wand misunderstood the miraculous reversal. The freshman's eyes widened and his fingers trembled wildly. Qin's bald black charcoal ally. The Thunder Attack Office misunderstood the upgrade of the Bunny Girl Savior, the big animal. Fighting the Thunder Fox version of the campus circus. Jiang Chen's inner game changed slightly and he was happy. Qin Feng's transfer to the Alliance was suspended, the palace's black hands were revealed, and the layout of the Animal Alliance was initially formed. But the Fox's minions were close to the desperate situation, and the psychological secret pressure was, sacrifice Chen Feng's poisonous tongue and procrastinate in exchange for a secret letter of ironclad evidence. The edge of the platform crunched, and the broom elf and the strange school janitor whooshed and sprang out in a whirlwind, a tattered broom wrapped in dusty cloth strips, with green eyes blinking and screaming in human words, "Oh bunny girl, thunder struck me cleaning the area. The fox's red eyes trampled the garden, and I dug your fox balls with my broomstick claws." The broom handle snapped, and the dust on the tip of the fox's nose exploded with plop. Poking his nose, the fox ouched, and then jumped into the pit of his heart. What are the weird words of broom elves? The palace secretly ordered broom gray GG, the Rabbit Alliance is expanding. Chen Feng's red eyes turned wildly and his inner firecrackers came to the rescue, the alliance of old broom monsters joins. The stupid fox's nose is stuffed with gray nose, and the poison rabbit predicts, the dusty fox claws will be broken, the princess will bake the fox tail with cute thunder clouds. The fat orange bells will roll in and the oranges will roll in. The butt presses against the fox's head, and the pet network wins. The fat orange dingling bumped into the fox's leg from the grass and squirted inwardly. The fox's skinny bones are not enough, the orange ball will crush you. Su Nuan hooked the rabbit tail on Jiang Chen's waist and slapped the fox's head with the cute bunny ears. Bad fox bullies, the rabbit cute lay is here again. Yun Yujian licked the fox's tail with a sizzle, and squeaked the scorched fur. She blinked and stuck out her tongue while hitting, which was super cute. The freshman passers-by sprayed nosebleeds and dislocated their jaws and laughed wildly. The bunny girl sucked the fox with her cute pink fist. The broom elf's dust claw made a weird assist. The Qin bald-headed hound bit the fox and turned into an ally. The campus animal alliance laughed and sprayed Max, and the black cloud fox claw reversed. Jiang Chen's psychological game is spinning at a high speed. The animal alliance's resourceful layout. Chen Feng's poisonous tongue drags information. Dust on the broom blocks the road. Fat orange presses on the leg. Qin's hound bites the throat. Su Nuan's cute thunder covers. He reads the mind and locks the fox's weakness, and panics in his heart. The secret message is dropped and can't be picked up. He rushes forward, his feet are soaked with blood, squeak, and it hurts when he steps on the gravel. At the top of his lungs, he kicked the fox in the belly with a muffled sound and his internal organs were churning. The fox rolled over with an ouch and his claws clawed at it. It dropped its belt. The gold-edged sheepskin of the palace secret letter clacked to the ground. The pungent ink stains revealed, the king's black cloud conspiracy, the false marriage, the rebellious alliance is extinct. A passerby picked up the letter with bulging eyes, trembling, and yelled, "Rabbit the genius kicked the fox's secret letter away. The king's conspiracy is directed towards GG, the kingdom's circus is going dark, and the royal palace is scheduled for a decisive battle." Qin Feng silver-haired, black-faced eyes were blurred and his throat was trembling. The secret letter is irrefutable. The rabbit alliance saves the country, and the hound protects the rabbit in despair. Finally, the heart exploded. The secret letter exposes the king's evil hand. The rabbit genius pet network is completely victorious, and I cut off the fox's claws. Chen Feng's red eyes were filled with ecstasy and firecrackers in his heart. The poisonous rabbit defeated the stupid fox. The secret letter of the king's conspiracy hook. The palace went straight to the black cloud of the barbecue father. I predicted, bunny girl alliance throne circus. Jiang Chen gasped and picked up the letter, his fingers trembled and the blood turned to his heart. The dark clouds covered his head with a slight crack of golden light. The animal alliance resolved the assassination. Qin Feng misunderstood and became an ally, and the secret letter provided irrefutable evidence of a bigger conspiracy. King. The iron-armed duke. The layers of palace gangsters were peeled off, and the bell rang for the decisive battle in the palace. Su Nuan Rabbit's ears hooked his neck and she puffed out cutely, "Rabbit Kid kicks the Fox Hero's secret letter to the palace, charge." The Bunny Girl alliance is invincible, and the father, the Black Cloud, is cute. The embers in the classroom sizzled to cool down, and the freshmen gathered around with trembling fingers and worshipped, whispering, "Mind-reading Rabbit Animal Alliance God." The fox assassin is gray and flying, the king's conspiracy is exposed, the campus legend palace chapter begins. The dark shadow of the palace in the distance is flashing, and the crisis of the decisive battle is like thunder. Jiang Chen grits his teeth and holds the letter and rushes, "Princess, the palace is finally exposed. The Rabbit Alliance is overturning the kingdom." The stench of the corpse is still lingering in the night, the ringtone is distorted, and the animal's heart is predicting the countdown to the war. The golden roof of the palace reverberated with thunder, the night fog shrouded corpses in a stink like rotten meat soup, and Jiang Chen's blood-soaked feet squeaked when he stepped on the gravel bricks, causing his forehead to ache. The soles of new cloth shoes were scorched with black sticky lava slag, and Su Nuan's rabbit tail hooked his waist, and the fluffy hair tickled his heart. Her ears fluttered, her face was filled with the scent of orange mixed with the smell of sweat, and she waved her pink fists and her waist in a cute way and winked, "Rabbit boy charges the palace father, the Black Cloud conspiracy is so cute." The secret is irrefutable proof that the Rabbit Alliance is invincible. Chen Feng's shoulders were filled with red eyes, and firecrackers exploded in his heart. "Idiot master, your feet are broken and you still run like crazy. Heiyun in the palace is waiting with his paws. I predict, the rabbit girl summons the roasted dragon feast, and the King Gigi's dried fish benefits will be upgraded." Qin Feng's black charcoal-faced silver-haired curly hound followed behind him with a sulfuric snort, and the blue light wand came to the scene and roared, the Rabbit Alliance saves the country with ironclad evidence. Private cleared, the palace's gangsters are out. But the wanted crime of breaking into the palace will be increased. The new passerby held his head in the distance and screamed with trembling fingers, the showdown in the Rabbit Palace is live. The giant iron gate, galong, banged against the guards' halberds and sparks, ding ding, crossed to block the road. The burly armored guard's face was like a black pot, his throat, gulu, swallowed and his eyes bulged, rebellious bunny girl. The campus fire and thunder fox is the culprit. The king secretly ordered the rabbit-catching alliance, the mind-reading rabbit demon king is suspected, and the hound sulfur is scheduled to bite the throat. Minister. Surrounded by the dragon ladder, people in green robes trembled like chaff and pointed their fingers wildly, look. The rabbit-eared and tailed witch Lamixin broke into the palace, and Qin Feng's black charcoal guard rabbit rebelled. The dark cloud conspiracy in the palace was exposed, the throne was the laughingstock of Max, and the king's green-spotted face was destined to be boiled. Su Nuan raised her rabbit-eared tail and flicked her tail wildly, pop-pop, and slapped the guard's armor with a crisp sound, looking cute. Sticking out his tongue, the bad guard blocks the bunny girl's path. Cute fireball clears the way. The pink light wand surges fireballs, boom, with a diameter of 2 meters and smashes the door grill, zzz, the molten juice pours out and the iron stench hits the nose. The guard, ouch, holds his head and rolls to the ground. The armor, ding-dong, flies around and his heart breaks, bunny girl fireball cute kill. The palace claws are broken, the Rabbit Alliance breaks into the palace. GG. Jiang Chen's heart was filled with despair. The guards were imprisoned, the secret letter was revealed, and Qin Feng's allies were at risk of turning back, and Chen Feng's vicious tongue was worrying. The blood blisters on the soles of his feet exploded in pain, and he gritted his teeth and roared, Chen Feng, the whole network of pets is spraying wildly. The black clouds in the palace are breaking down, and the guards are in a hurry. Chen Feng Mao raised his red-eyed machine gun and opened fire, palace guards brainless alliance get out. I poison rabbit live broadcast, the black cloud's secret letter from the bunny girl's father is exposed, your iron armor licks the dog's claws and cuts them off. Last night, the rat king whispered that you stole the palace chicken legs and was exposed by the fat orange bell. The orange ball sprayed your eggs in the heart. The twin frogs are taller than you in the cesspool. Level, prophecy, Rabbit Alliance throne, guards roast dried turtles. The guard's mind was buzzing, and the pet network was running around, and his heart was exploding. Poison rabbit reads the mind's demonic voice. The theft of chicken legs is exposed, the bunny girl's fireball melts the armor, the king's black cloud is our fault. The iron door, bang, tilted, and the dust, puffed, and choked Jiang Chen's nose. Running wildly on the stone steps of the dragon ladder, dong dong, shook the soles of the feet, and the fat round butt of the orange, dingling bell, caught up with the sweaty and smelly orange hair and dried fish residue, orange balls crushed the guard eggs. Rabbit Alliance's dried fish banquet, the palace is orange but dominates. The broom elf, hoo-hoo, whirlwind wrapped in dust and cloth strips, green eyes blinked and screamed in human words, I clean the palace area. Rabbit girl Lang Huahue assisted, and the guard's iron-armored broomstick clawed at the egg. The dust exploded on the tip of the guard's nose and he coughed. He swung his iron halberd wildly. The freshman Yuan Wang had a nosebleed and dislocated his jaw and yelled, the Animal Alliance palace version of the circus. The poisonous rabbit destroys the orange egg on the broomstick and gray claw, and the bald hound of Qin protects the rabbit, and the cute bunny girl bursts into the palace and the black cloud reverses. The golden pillars of the main hall buzzed and the magic lamp flashed. The king's dragon robe had a green face and he was livid. The ministers sitting on the throne knelt and whispered with trembling voices, Your Majesty, the Fire Rain campus continues the crisis in the palace. The Rabbit Alliance's secret letter is irrefutable evidence, and the Black Cloud conspiracy points to, the Duke of Iron Arms. The king slapped the armrest with his claws, and the golden ring roared, rebellious and warm bunny girl. The illusion of marriage is extinct. Black hands, catch the rabbit demon king. Fireballs exploded at the palace door, and the heat wave whistled and burned his face, foaming, and the ink smelled fragrant. Jiang Chen and Su Nuan broke in, dripping with blood and sweat, and held up the secret letter, King Heiyun's ironclad evidence. The palace conspiracy is exposed, the fox assassin's claw is broken, and the animal alliance saves the country. The minister's green robe became wet and his fingers trembled wildly with bulging eyes. The rabbit girl breaks into the palace with her cuteness, the fireball demon King CP, Qin Feng's black charcoal rebel guard, the end of the throne. Qin Feng's hound, Wang, sulfur claw locked on Jiang Chen's blue light wand and roared. The rabbit demon king read the mind to deceive the public, the hound bites the throat and seals the demon. Su Nuan raised his rabbit ears in excitement and hugged Jiang Chen's arms, bad father. Emperor Heiyun misunderstood the bunny girl's ultimate magic proves her innocence. The door of time and space is opened, ancient evidence is summoned. The pink light of her wand surged high, the golden dome crunched, and the blue vortex sizzled, tore through the air, the smell of burnt meat wafted through the nose, the space-time door, bang, exploded with green mist 5 meters away, crash, poured out, and the roar of dinosaurs, bang, shook the palace pillars. The giant claws of the Tyrannosaurus, bang, smashed against the golden pillars, and the broken stone, popped, scattered the scales and the smell of sulfur flew towards the palace. The pterosaur screamed, quack, and flapped its winged blades. Minister Jian Haiten held his head and rolled to the ground and screamed with trembling fingers, Bunny Girl summons the end of the world. Roast dragon banquet in the time and space dinosaur palace, His Majesty's throne GG, the true form of the mind-reading rabbit demon King Heiyun. Chen Feng's red eyes bulged and core bombs exploded in his heart. Princess, you summoned the end of the world. Stupid bunny girl's ultimate magic brain max. Tyrannosaurus claws trample on my tail. Pet Network live broadcast, Palace Dinosaur Circus, King Black Charcoal 3.0 is scheduled. Jiang Chen's mind is buzzing with despair like dragon claws twisting his heart. The time and space gate is out of control and the dinosaur is scurrying around. Qin Feng misunderstands that the devil's hound bites the throat. The minister Heiyun refers to the deer as a horse, secretly trusting iron the dragon's breath was submerged. His blood-soaked feet slipped and he knelt down and roared in pain. Su Nuan shuts the door. Chen Feng's poisonous tongue breaks the hearts of the dinosaurs, and the animal alliance kills the dragons to save the day. Qin Feng's silver-haired black charcoal hound minions Mars locked Jiang Chen's throat and roared, his throat trembling. The rabbit demon king summons the dragon to destroy the palace. The hound's sulfur burns the rabbit's skin. A serial chase breaks out. Jiang Chen Su Nuan's rabbit tail dashed wildly behind the palace pillars. The Tyrannosaurus tail, snap, pumped the air and exploded with wind. Whoosh, lifted his robe and threw the minister, ouch, flew into the wall and sprayed blood. The pterosaur dived, and grabbed the fat orange with its claws. The orange ball stuffed in the teeth, crushing your eggs. The dust whirlwind of the broom spirit exploded with dust in the ornithoptera's nose and choked back. Chen Feng's red-eyed machine gun fired at the dinosaur's heart. Get out of here, the ancient brain-dead dragon. I'll destroy you. The Tyrannosaurus' dream of eating palace chicken legs was exposed by the Rat King last night. Pterodactyl wings stuffed into the fat orange mouth. Saber-toothed tiger dragon fireball grilled the king of black clouds. Pet Network full frequency. Dinosaur alliance surrenders to the bunny girl. The princess is brainless and summons GG to win. The dinosaur's mind is running wild and he is roaring in his heart. Poison rabbit demonic sound. Chicken legs dream of smashing oranges and pressing eggs. The palace fish is not enough. Screw the teeth. The rabbit alliance slays the dragon. The Tyrannosaurus turned its claws inward and smashed into the air. The pterosaur's wings stiffened and fell to the ground. The minister's nose was bleeding and he stared and roared, animals are complaining about killing dragons. The poisonous rabbit pet network is the ironclad proof. The dinosaur's inner chicken leg cesspit is broadcast. The rabbit devil's mind-reading skill, the throne is reversed. The palace thief in black robe appeared from the shadow. His face trembled and he exploded to his knees. Stop the claws. The black cloud conspiracy is me. The minister's son is jealous of the princess bunny girl. I ordered the fox assassin, forged secret letters to frame the king's iron arm, the rebel alliance was exterminated, the dream was shattered, the campus was in flames and oolong, it was all my fault. The minister's green-robed face was ashen and his throat was trembling. The identity of the princess is revealed. The rebellious bunny girl fights against the misunderstanding of her father, Emperor Heian. The mind-reading rabbit Jiang Chen saves the country. The Animal League circus god assists. The misunderstandings are resolved. The laughingstock of the kingdom turns into a legend. The ministers and passers-by hugged their heads and rolled on the ground with trembling fingers and shouted in admiration, "The real Princess Bunny Girl." The ultimate magical dinosaur summoned his own black hand. Jiang Chen was shocked when he read his heart. Qin's bald hound stopped his claws dumbfounded, and the throne cheered Max. Qin Feng's blue light wand trembled like a sieve, and his heart was shattered. The rabbit demon turned into a hero. The hound bit the wrong egg, and the fornication turned into a white god. The whole audience cheered, boom, and thunderous applause, pop. The scent of incense candles mixed with the smell of dragon scales hit his nostrils. Su Nuan hooked Jiang Chen's neck with rabbit ears and slapped his chest lightly with her cute pink fist. Hero bunny father admits the wrong princess alliance. The dried fish feast is invincible. Jiang Chen's blood turned and his heart burst with golden light. He held the secret letter and his fingers trembled slightly. Chen Feng was filled with firecrackers in his heart. Princess' true identity is revealed and the poison rabbit prophecy is in. Black self-destruction of the throne circus, the rabbit alliance brings joy to the kingdom. But a new crisis exploded, the space-time gate sizzled and the green mist surged wildly. The Tyrannosaurus roared and roared with its tail wildly sweeping the golden pillars, cracked and shattered the stone like rain on the palace. The pterosaur, quack, fluttered its wings and lifted the robes of the ministers in the wind, and sprayed blood, and the saber-toothed tiger-toothed dragon's fireball, boom, sprayed molten juice from the top of the palace, crash, poured down and burned the soles of the feet with a pungent smell. The king laughed with a stiff face and roared, "The dinosaurs won't go away." The ultimate magic battle between Bunny Girl is over, the sequel to The End of the Palace. The minister screamed and held his head, the dragon's claw presses on the throne, the Animal Alliance destroys the Dragon 2.0, Jiang Chen's mind-reading card explodes again. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and ran with his wand high. Chen Feng's red eyes were filled with predictions that his inner core would explode. Idiots, the final brawl of the Rabbit Alliance is about to begin. The princess brain-dead door can't be closed, and I'll never be able to close the dragon-slaying kingdom with my poisonous tongue. The palace was shaken with a boom, the dinosaurs roared, the night mist was wrapped in the smell of blood, and the ringtone was distorted and the climax of the decisive battle was burning in the sky. The golden dome on the roof of the palace crunched and shattered like an eggshell. The molten liquid, crash, poured down and the gold-plated pillars sizzled and white smoke flew into the sky. The giant tail of the Tyrannosaurus Rex popped and swept wildly, whipping up the strong wind. Whoosh and was covered in blood mist. The smelly smell hit the nostrils and knocked over the minister's green robe. Ouch rolled to the ground and his bones cracked and clicked. He snapped his fingers and grabbed the air, trembling and screaming, "The end of the dinosaurs." The Rabbit Alliance summons to roast the whole audience, the throne is lava fish dry, the princess's brain-dead magic GG will never end. The pterosaur, quack, swooped down with its claws to tear the broom elf's grey cloth, hiss, into pieces of grey snow, the whirlwind, whoosh, counterattacked and choked the dragon. The nose, cough, blood foam sprayed into the palace, the saber-toothed tiger's teeth and dragon's throat fireball, boom, blasted the armrests of the throne, golden juice, ding-dong, splashed everywhere, the green spots on the side of the king's robe were iron-stained, his face was twisted and iron-green, his claws grasped the armrests and he roared, his throat trembling, "Warm Bunny Girl." The door to space and time cannot be closed, the palace turns into a dragon garden, a sequel to the dream of an iron-armed marriage. The minister's son, with a mouse face and a black robe, knelt down with a grey face and his heart turned to pieces. Isn't it enough that he blew himself up? The dinosaur stepped on my tail, the Rabbit Demon King and the Animal Alliance laughed to death, and the father in the green robe took the blame. Jiang Chen's blood-soaked feet squeaked when he stepped on molten juice and slipped, pop, his knees hit the stone bricks and hurt his forehead. The magic wand narrowly escaped his hand. The new soles were burnt black and sticky dragon scale slag, pop, was thrown away by the heat wave, which made his face scalding and blistered. There is a risk of biting his throat, and the minister's rat face self-destructs. The Animal Alliance cannot hold back the chaos in the palace. Su Nuan's rabbit ears pounced and swiped his face with orange fragrance mixed with sweat and smelly powder. She put her fists on her waist and acted cutely, but her voice trembled. Rabbit Boy Dinosaur Park Oolong Pink Light Evolution Card Fan, cute fireball transforms into a dragon toy, the dream is broken, and the father's throne has a dragon roast banquet scheduled. The red eyes bulged and nuclear bombs exploded in the heart. Firecrackers exploded in unison, stupid princess can't close the brain-dead door. I'm a poisonous rabbit prophecy, Tyrannosaurus claws will step on the throne, pterosaur wings will crush the eggs, Tiger Fang's fireballs will burn the minister's rat face, Pet Network will live broadcast the Royal Palace Dragon cesspit, Rabbit Alliance GG dried fish welfare will be ruined. Qin Feng silver-haired, curly, black charcoal-faced hound, snorted, with a sulfur nose the breath locked on Jiang Chen's blue light wand surged, his minions and sparks roared and his throat trembled, Rabbit Demon King Long Yuan conspiracy. The hounds burn the rabbit's skin with sulfur, the princess is guilty of treason and annihilation. The gray-headed guard of the guard held his head with his fingers trembling wildly and exploded in his heart, the sequel to the poison rabbit prophecy. In the Dinosaur Park Circus, the bunny girl summons the end of the world, and we, the armored fish, take the blame. A strange green-feathered parrot popped out of the shadow at the end of the palace. Its feathers were lightning blue and its claws grabbed the minister's son's shoulder. Gruck. The rap in human words exploded in rhythm, yo-yo, the palace dragon garden rap. Fight. The father of the rat-faced Heiyun conspired to blow up GG, the rabbit demon king and princess Menghuolong were maxed out, the Tyrannosaurus pterosaur and the tiger-toothed dragon listened to my flow, fireballs sprayed from the claws and tails, crushing the golden pillars and roasting the whole audience, the Rabbit Alliance is gone, the parrot-crowned fish is doing solo. The minister's son, with his eyes bulging and his throat, gulu, swallowed and hugged the parrot and trembled, baby parrot assists He Yun's reversal, rap to destroy the rabbit demon's heart, return the throne to me. The ministers and guards in the audience stared and screamed with dislocated jaws and nosebleeds, the minister's son is a black-handed beast, the dragon garden rap battle is going on, the Rabbit Alliance is in danger, and the Palace Circus 2.0 is full of laughter. The parrot in Jiang Chen's mind was filled with venom and despair, the rap parrot is in trouble, the Animal Alliance is in danger, and the green mist of the space-time gate is shaking the palace pillars. Chen Feng's white-haired dung shell and red-eyed machine gun counterattacked instantly. The rabbit's body, pop, jumped over his shoulders and rapped back with a rhythm like a firecracker. Pap pop, crackled. His inner rap hit the full-frequency live broadcast of the Pet Network, yo poisonous rabbit flow explodes the palace. Parrot with green hair and a brainless bird, rat-faced dad Heiyun blew himself up to steal chicken legs. Last night's orange bell was exposed, and Tyrannosaurus dreamed of eating. The palace fish was sprayed by fat orange, the wings of the pterosaur were stuffed into the gray nose of the broom, the tiger-tooth fireball roasted the frog in the green robe of the minister, the Rabbit Alliance's invincible bunny girl and the princess's true form, the parrot solo turned to the grilled dried bird and fish, and the Pet Network predicted, Long Yuan surrendered and the orange but was crushed. The parrot's green feathers exploded and clawed at the air. Gurgling, the rap collapsed and the rhythm shook, and the heart exploded. Explosion, poison rabbit demonic voice spray. Orange pressed egg fish is a dream, my flow is cut off, rat-faced dad takes the blame. The Tyrannosaurus claws turned inward and roared, the mind buzzed, the pterosaur wings stiffened, GA, and dust fell, plop, and choked the nose. The tiger-toothed dragon fireball deflected the melting of the minister's son in black robes, sizzling, burnt smell pungent rat face holding his head and rolling to the ground screaming and his fingers trembled regretful, tears and runny nose burst out, the parrot rap battle lost to GG. The dark clouds in the heart of Poison Rabbit are exposed, the father is in despair, the Rabbit Alliance's animal magic skills make me laugh to death, I regret it. The minister in green robe has a green face, his throat is trembling, he is hugging his knees, and he is heartbroken. My son, Parrot, has a black hand to reverse his dream and his dream is shattered. Poison Rabbit Rap King's Pet Network live broadcast, the throne of dried fish welfare will never end. Jiang Chen's blood turned around and he gritted his teeth and roared at Su Nuan's rabbit tail, Chen Feng's rap wins. Princess Pink Light Evolution joins forces, teacher Qin Feng's hound assists in killing the dragon. Su Nuan's rabbit ears vertically flicked her tail wildly, pop bang, to suck out the air, the pink light wand surged up, and she raised her cuteness and winked, the ultimate evolution of the bunny girl the cute toy transformation in the dinosaur park, the pink fist dragon claw controls the field invincible. The pink vortex, buzzed, and wrapped in the green mist of the space-time gate. The dinosaur scales squeaked and softened like marshmallows, and the giant claws turned into slides and clacked to the ground. The wings of the pterosaur shrank and fluttered and turned into a carousel, quacking. The tiger-toothed dragon's fireball solidified, gudu, and turned into a bubble machine that clacked and burst into sweet and tangy rainbow bubbles. The king's green-spotted face stared with bulging eyes. The dragon's claws slapped his knees. Pop! The golden sound was loud. He laughed stiffly and turned to ecstasy. His throat trembled. Princess Nuan's magic has evolved into a magical skill. The Dragon Garden has become an amusement park. The Palace Circus is blissful. The legend of the Rabbit League is born. The ministers and passers-by and guards held their heads and rolled to the ground. Their fingers trembled wildly in admiration. They roared in admiration and their nosebleeds sprayed into the palace. Princess Bunny Girl Contrast Hero. The rebellious and cute fire-summoning dragon and oolong turn to the toy garden. Poisonous Rabbit Rap kills the parrot, reads the mind of Jiang Chen, the god of command, worships the Max throne. Qin Fengqi trembled like a sieve of black charcoal, his face was split, the hound, Wang, wildly shook the blue light wand, and turned to support the pink swirl, Buzz, to help the sulphurous breath change to a sweet roar, Rabbit Demon King. No, Jiang Chen is a hero. The hound misunderstanding is reversed, the friendship alliance kills the dragon, the fornication is whitened and the laughing stock turns to glory. The fat orange, dingling, has a fat round butt and presses the green feathers of the parrot, gurgling, humming orange hair and sweaty smell mixed with the dried fish residue, inner firecracker, orange ball crushes the rap bird. Dried fish banquet in Long Yuan, Rabbit Alliance Orange King dominates. The broom elf dust whirlwind, whoosh, wraps the dinosaur toy with flying gray snow and green eyes blinking the words screamed, broom claw dragon slide. The bunny girl is a goddess of pink light, the palace is invincible in cleaning the amusement park. The minister's son crawled on the ground in despair with a gray face and clawed at the stone bricks. Sitting on the bottom of the green robe, the hero of the Rabbit League, I regret my broken heart and will live forever. The whole audience cheered, boom, and thunderous applause. Plop. There was a crisp sound of incense smoke mixed with bubbles, sweet and smelly. Su Nuan's rabbit tail hooked Jiang Chen's waist, and the fluff tickled his heart. She punched his chest softly and puffed out cutely, the rabbits are invincible together princess the heroic father's fish banquet is coming. The king's dragon robe shook and he stood up with his claws bursting into golden light, Jiang Chen Su Nuan Rabbit Alliance. Invitation to the Palace Amusement Park celebration, Legends Freshman Glory Night, the whole kingdom will be worshipped tomorrow. Jiang Chen's blood soaked his feet to relieve the pain. The hot blood golden light exploded. The fingers of the magic wand trembled slightly. Chen Feng's red eyes were filled with ecstasy, predicting the nuclear explosion, the princess evolves into the dragon garden to win the hemp. The poison rabbit wraps the throne forever, and the college celebration ends with an oolong. I predict, the cute bunny girl will blow up the whole school, and the mind-reading hero will continue. Qin Feng hound licked Jiang Chen's hand. Brimstone turned to honey and roared full of friendship. The minister of the guard knelt down and worshipped, his fingers trembling, and roared, Hero Rabbit League. The Dragon Park amusement will be passed down forever, and the palace will be the laughing stock of bliss. The night fog and thunder dispersed, and the golden lamps buzzed and flashed. The ringtone was clear, and in the aftermath of the palace earthquake, the gold invitation to the celebration popped and flew into Jiang Chen's palm. The academy finally had an undercurrent. The afterglow of the golden lamp buzzed fell on the amusement park in the palace, the bubble machine popped, and the rainbow bubbles exploded, with a sweet fruity aroma mixed with molten juice and a stinky aftertaste. The Tyrannosaurus squeaked, and slid down the guard's iron armor. Ouch! Buttocks were red and swollen, laughing and laughing. His fingers grabbed the railings and trembled in admiration, shouting, the magic skill of the Rabbit Alliance. The dragon claws become slippery. Elevator, the eternal paradise of the palace, the hero Jiang Chen reads the command, the Princess Pink Light Queen worships Max. The king's dragon robe shook with green spots and he stood firm with his golden claws and slapped his knees. Pa bang, his throat trembled with laughter and he turned around. Su Nuan's rabbit ears gently rubbed the orange fragrance and scented his nose. Nuaner bunny girl's true identity is revealed, and the father, Emperor Heiyun, regrets the misunderstanding. Play in Hualong Park, the legendary throne of the Rabbit Alliance will be remembered forever. Jintai Academy's celebrations are sealed, Jiang Chen and Su Nuan are two heroes, and the whole school's dried fish banquet is scheduled. The minister in green robe, gray-headed and dirt-faced, crawled on his knees, fingers trembled, nosebleeds dried up, and embers rolled in the cesspit in his heart. All the evidence is lost, the prisoner Yugan regrets it, the Rabbit Alliance turns into a laughing stock, and the honorable old minister pays homage. The iron-armed duke wiped his sweat from the burnt edges of his black robe and panted, the hound's eyes narrowed and he roared, Princess Nuaner is rebellious and cute in a rabbit costume, the marriage is all in vain. Jiang Chen's mind-reading benefactor kills the dragon, the Duke's Palace Yugan thanks you Max. The soles of Jiang Chen's blood-soaked feet squeaked when he stepped on the bubbles, which were slippery and the heat pain was relieved. The golden stickers on his palms were gilded and the light shone. His heart was loosened and the iron pliers were loosened. Warmth flowed to his forehead. Chen Feng's white hair on his shoulders was sticky with sweat and his red eyes were dripping with firecrackers. He was ecstatic. Long Yuan wins the dried mackerel solo. Poison Rabbit Rap King's Pet Network is the most popular search, and the college celebration ends with an oolong. Prophecy, the bunny girl blows up the school with fireworks, and the mind-reading idiot navigator overwhelms the whole audience. Su Nuan hooked her rabbit tail on her waist and tickled her heart, lightly pumping her chest with her pink fists and blinking cutely. The orange-flavored puffs of air hit her face. Hero Bunny the father's dried fish banquet is about to begin, and the palace amusement park will be remembered forever, and the Academy's Golden Post Double Glory Night begins with pink fireworks to celebrate. The wind silver hair is scorched and trembling, the charcoal face is cracked, the laughing hound, barking, tail is sweeping sulfur snorts, the honey turns into licking Jiang Chen's palm, itching and wet, and growling with friendship overflowing, Jiang Chen, the rabbit devil, hero. The hound misunderstood the divine reversal, the blue light aided the fan swirl to kill the dragon, the college saw the friendship alliance to protect the whole school. The fat orange, dingling bell, fat round ass pressed against the green feather of the parrot. The inner core of the sweaty and smelly dried fish residue exploded in the heart, the orange king squashes the rap bird. Enjoy the dried fish in the amusement park, the sequel to the orange crushing of freshmen in the college. The broom elf dust, whooshes, the whirlwind wraps the bubbles in the gray snow and dances with green eyes blinking in human words and screams, the dragon toy is clean and invincible. The Rabbit Alliance Palace is blissful, and the college dust maze is ready. The night fog and thunder dispersed. The golden car, rolled, was waiting outside the palace door. The king's claws and fingers exploded with gold stickers. Buzz was transmitted to the whole kingdom, legend of the Rabbit Alliance. Tomorrow's Magic Academy celebration, Jiang Chen Su Nuan's glorious night fish banquet begins. The ministers and guards in the audience hugged their knees and rolled to the ground, their fingers trembled and roared. The nosebleed sprayed the palace and worshipped the thunder, twin heroes. Read the heart pink light to destroy the dragon garden, the kingdom's Yongla film. By Jiang Chen Leisu got into the car with warm blood and golden light. His heart and feet were aching and forgotten. Chen Feng's red eyes bulged and he predicted the machine gun in his heart. The stupid princess's fireworks warmed up, and the freshmen in the college made a fuss about getting lost, and I added more to my navigation. The wheels rolled over the night road, and the candles and smoke followed, and the Magic Academy lights in front of the golden pagoda buzzed, and the bells sounded crisply to welcome guests. The next day, the crowd of people in the college square was buzzing like a beehive exploding. The new aristocrats gathered in colorful flags and danced wildly. The fragrant petals rained down and sweetened their nostrils. Qin Feng's silver hair was neat and black, and his newly permed hound was entrenched at his feet. His breath of sulfur was faintly honeyed, and his voice turned into a low roar. The host's voice was trembling with excitement. The celebration begins. The legend of the Rabbit Alliance in the Palace Dragon Garden, Jiang Chen and Su Nuan's dried fish banquet is warmed up, and the whole school worships him. The passers-by stared at each other and grabbed the corners of their robes with their fingers, trembling and screaming, the Rabbit Demon King's mind-reading freshman. The Princess Pink Light Dragon Killing Garden, the Palace Amusement Slide, personally tested, worshipping Max, the Night of Glory exploded. Li Fat's waist hurts and he hums, buttocks are burnt. The pig monster, hums, the fat orange bell presses his shoulders, and his heart rolls, the secret weapon of the shoe. Jiang Chen's black hand. The legend of the Rabbit Alliance pig hums and breaks his heart, and the dried fish benefits can't be grabbed. The black rabbit tail put away the cute pink light wand on the platform and held up the cute wink. The pink swirl buzzed and condensed the fireworks to warm up, celebrating the Rabbit Alliance. The pink light fireworks are a joy for the whole school, and the sequel of Dragon Garden begins. The whole audience cheered, boom, thunderous applause and pop crackled in anticipation of the rainbow bursting into the sky. Unexpectedly, the pink swirl got out of control, boom, the green mist surged like a dragon garden, and the aftermath wrapped around the square. Whoosh, the smoke maze rose up in the field of vision, and the field of vision was filled with white, pungent fruity fragrance mixed with sulfur. Passers-by said, ouch, and hit the wall. Shout, Princess Fireworks Oolong Max. The maze swallows up the campus, the legend of the Rabbit Alliance becomes a lost hell, and we, the robed fish, take the blame. The Qin Feng hound screamed and ran around in the silver-haired mist, scratching the air with its scorched claws and trembling throat. Nuaner's pink light is stuck. Hound. The breath is lost, the Academy celebration GG Dragon Garden continues. The noble freshman bumped into Li Pang with a rat face, pa, and the pig monster, Gong Wu exploded in his heart, Smoke Maze Circus 2.0. Bunny Girl's brain-dead magic, where is Jiang Chen's mind-reading hero, I'm a pig despair. The lights in the whole school went out, the power went out, the black mist swirled, and people choked and stomped on the mud. Plop. The wet smell filled the nostrils. The end of the Lost Kingdom. The feast of dried fish has turned into a ghost in the fog, and the Rabbit Alliance will never be laughed at again. Jiang Chen's feet soaked in blood in the mist, squeaked as he slipped and held the wand, his heart sank slightly as Leisu warmed his rabbit tail and scratched his waist, whispering, Princess Fireworks evolution stuck. Chen Feng's animal navigation is here. Chen Feng's hair exploded on his shoulders, red eyes bulged, and his heart was filled with poisonous tongue. The Mist Palace made an own goal, the fat orange bell pressed the egg in the fog and prepared, the gray elf on the broom ran through the road, the poisonous rabbit navigated the dried fish solo and started spraying, turning left and humming and arching the orange ball on the right. Qin's bald hound sulfur followed. The newborn rat hit the wall with its face and exploded. GG. Jiang Chen's mind buzzed, and the animal's heart rushed in like a flood. The fat orange, dinged the bell, rolled inside the fog. Heart chatter, Orange King Mist Palace hides dried fish. The Bell Road sign crushes the new students. The Rabbit Alliance navigates the orange but is invincible. The dust on the broom elf whirred through his nose and screamed in his heart. The gray snow path is clean. The left fog pillar pig arches the orange on the right corner. The rabbit demon reads the mind and commands the Dust Alliance. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and laughed wildly with the blue light of the wand buzz opening the listening navigation. Su Nuan's rabbit ears swept her face, and the orange fragrance hit her nose. Chen Feng sprayed right. The fat orange bell turned to the left, the broom gray arched to the right, and Teacher Qin's hound sulfur followed. Su Nuan's rabbit tail wildly flicked the fog, pumped her fists, and showed her cute voice. Rabbit Boy's mind-reading skill. The Animal Alliance's Mist Palace broke the game, and the pink light fireworks turned to the navigation light. The passers-by hugged their knees and trembled in the fog, listening to the ding bell of the bells, and running around with their footsteps following the buzzing of the blue light through the fog. The fat orange hair, sweaty and smelly dried fish residue was filled with inner ecstasy, and the passers-by pressed their shoulders with a pop and groaned. Oranges are pressing on the newborn road. Bell navigation fish dried welfare ma, love and follow the team. The laughingstock of the college maze turns to glory. Lee fat pig monster, hang hu, and the blue light waste injury forget about the burnt buttocks and the heart collapses to worship. The mind-reading hero Bell saves pig humph. The magic skill of the Rabbit Alliance, the hidden weapon of the shoe resolves the grudges of the fish. The tide rolling gathered together and the blue light path hit the wall. The sound, clicking, weakened and the coughing continued to laugh. He opened his fingers and trembled wildly in worship and roared. Jiang Chen's mind-reading Animal Alliance. The Fog Palace navigation is invincible, the princess's fireworks are blissful, and the dried fish feast is reopened to worship. The fog dispersed in the center of the square and the golden lanterns were lit again and the colorful flags danced wildly. Su Nuan's pink light wand closed the fog and exploded. Fireworks boomed and rainbow bubbles rained down. The sweet fragrance hit the nostrils. The king's golden car arrived. The dragon's claws patted the knees and laughed. The god of the Rabbit Alliance and the Mist Palace are reversed. College celebration fish feast adding more value. Jiang Chen read the mind and was granted the title of Noble of the Kingdom. Su Nuan's rebellious and cute fight was glorious in public. Qin Fengqi trembled, his black face cracked and laughed. The hound licked the minister's green robe and feet. The minister's son's rat face came out of prison. His gray head knelt down and his fingers trembled and he whispered, "Teacher, hound friendship." Heiyun forges the palace. The court's joke continues. The parrot raps and practices stealing dried fish. The gray elf on the palace broom attacks orange press at night. The iron-armed duke's marriage is the source of gossip at the minister's tea party. The omniscience of the Rabbit Alliance is exposed and makes the world laugh. The minister in the green robe has a trembling throat, hugging his knees and calming down and laughing. "My son," the parrot raps, and is poisoned. Rabbit, the palace's dried fish joke will always be passed down. The reconciliation Max Rabbit Alliance salutes you. The iron-armed duke slapped Qin Feng on the shoulder and roared, "Mummy teacher's dark history is whitewashed." Nuaner bunny girl protects the shortcomings in person. The marriage fake tea party gossip is resolved, and the Friendship Alliance college guards. Jiang Chen's hot-blooded golden light exploded with heartwarming gold stickers, and the aristocratic badge, Ding Dong, King's claw-button chest robe flashed with blue light. Su Nuan's rabbit tail hooked her waist and pink fists pumped her chest and breathed sweetly. Rabbit Boy aristocratic hero misunderstanding is cleared and the relationship is warming up. The Academy's legendary two-person fish fuck night will never end. Chen Feng's red eyes dripped with tears and predicted the aftermath in his heart. Fog Palace wins hemp. Humanity's lost king navigates fish jerky. The Academy's final oolong undercurrent I smell. God's secret body rat face 2.0. The fat orange bell pressed on the plump shoulder and the dried fish was eaten. The passers-by knelt down and worshipped the god of animal navigation with trembling fingers and nosebleeds, the noble animal navigation god who reads the mind. The princess of the Fog Palace Bliss Rabbit Alliance worships. Qin Feng Hound Tail shook the honey snort blue light wand and roared full of friendship, hero partner, the palace laughs about the dried fish. The guards chased out with a dong-dong sound, and the armor clashed with a ding-dong sound. The ministers realized the situation and said, the princess ran away with the newcomer. Rebellious alliance. The rabbit spy escaped, and the kingdom's laughing stock escalated. The king smashed the table with his fist, and cracks spread, sizzlingly, yen, his voice trembling, chase. But, the evidence of the rabbit is conclusive, let's break up the meeting first. The scene was depressing and turned absurd, laughter broke out sporadically, and new rumors filled the air. Jiang Chen's genius rabbit boy, Su Nuan's nuclear bomb princess teamed up, and the source of the oolong is hidden in the palace. Fireworks, bang, rainbow bubbles rain down on the square, the sweet fruity fragrance mixed with sulfur lingers in the nostrils, the buzzing afterglow of the golden lamp reflects the ding-dong of the dried fish banquet table, piled up into a hill, the steaming oil is overflowing, the whole school's new nobles kneel down, their fingers tremble wildly, their noses bleed and they worship with thunder. Rabbit couplet. The god of the Alliance Mist Palace is reversed. The mind-reading aristocrat Jiang Chen is invincible with his blue light wand, the princess is the pink light firework queen of bliss, and the dried fish solo worships Max. The green spots on the king's dragon robe shook and the golden claws were raised high. Buzz, the audience's throats trembled and laughed. Jiang Chen, the noble hero, is rebellious and adorable. Fighting for public glory, the two legends of the Kingdom Academy will have a banquet forever. Su Nuan Rabbit Tail closed up her pink fist and lightly slapped Jiang Chen's chest, winking cutely, and the orange-scented breath hit his face. The rabbit boy's noble badge flashed blindly. The accomplices of the Fog Palace Yugon night is heating up, and the Academy's legendary duo will never die. Chen Feng's white hair is sticky with sweat on his shoulders. Red eyes dripping with inner firecrackers blasting the full live broadcast of Pet Network. Fog Palace wins the big harvest of dried mackerel. The human lost king reads the mind solo, the silly princess pink light and the oolong queen warms up the final boss of the academy, Rat Face 3.0 Black Shadow Tower Top Nuclear Explosion Countdown, I'm Venomous Navigation Final Spray. Qin Feng's neatly silver-haired black-robed hound sat at his feet. His sulphurous snort turned to his honey tail, and he swept wildly. Papa, and growled in a low voice full of friendship, Jiang Chen's animal alliance protects the whole school. The court laughed and talked about dried fish for dinner, and the celebration was invincible. Start spraying. The iron-armed duke slapped his knees with a muffled sound. The hound narrowed his eyes and roared, his throat trembling, Moana Bunny Girl is really protecting the short marriage, Jiang Chen's benefactor, Yugon, thank you for the friendship alliance of the academy. The green-robed, gray-headed, rat-faced son Parole knelt down beside him and muttered calmly in his heart, the parrot is raping and practicing stealing dried fish, and the black cloud is joking, and the rabbit alliance is paying homage to the dried fish and regretting it. Unexpectedly, the black shadow on the top of the tower clicked, and the footsteps moved lightly. The mysterious green light buzzed and exploded. The whole school's lights clicked and the power went out. The vortex of black mist surged like a Fog Palace 2.0 and wrapped the square, whooshing. The field of vision was dark and the nose was choked. The aroma of sulfur fruit turned rancid and pungent. Passers-by and freshmen bumped into the table. Thump. The dried fish lay on the ground, holding its head and rolling around with its fingers as it clawed at the corner of its robe and screamed in despair, the rat-faced black shadow is the ultimate oolong. The celebration of the dried fish turns into a black mist hell, and the whole school of Rabbit Alliance legend GG is doomed. Roar and collapse, the black shadow magic nuclear explosion. The hound is lost in the sulfuric breath, the Academy celebrates the Dragon Garden and the Mist Palace with double GG. The king's golden car, wind, shakes the dragon claws, slaps the knees, spins and catches the air. The laughter turns into a scream, guard of Nuan. The crisis of the kingdom of black shadow, mouse eyes and green light, the feast of dried fish turns into a battlefield. Su Nuan held up the pink light wand and buzzed the condensed fireworks to preheat but lost control. Boom, the green mist intensified, and the rabbit's tail was wildly swung with pink fists and the waist was trembling with despair and cuteness. The black shadow boss of the rabbit boy is stuck. The pink light fireworks backfired in the Mist Palace 3.0, and we, the dried fish, took the blame. Desperate whispers from all over the place started, plop, stepping on the mud and slipping, plop, the smelly and wet lights were extinguished, the shadows of green-eyed rats flashed in the black mist, jia jia, strange laughter echoed on the top of the tower, summoning a group of monsters, roar, roar, humming like a pig, an enlarged version of the arching fog rushed over and overturned the dried fish table, crack, crack. Broken wood flew away, and the new nobleman stared at his knees and trembled. His heart exploded, the ultimate villain, Rat Face 3.0, the Warcraft Legion. The princess's pink light exploded into the black mist. Where is Jiang Chen's mind-reading hero? I will never die again. Gongwu was pushed up by the black shadow monster, ouch, his butt was red and swollen, and his fingers were trembling wildly. Shu's hidden weapon grudge upgrade to black shadow boss. Rabbit Alliance navigation GG pig humming hell. Fat orange bell, ding bell, fat gun in the fog was rapping in his heart, orange king bell press, the egg failed. The black shadow rat's face exploded and the orange but was smashed, and the dried fish turned into a monster's lunch. The broom fairy dust whirled around in the mist, and the green eyes blinked and screamed in despair. The black fog monster swallowed the campus, and the Rabbit Alliance dust took the blame. Jiang Chen's blood-soaked feet squeaked as he stepped on the blue light wand and tightened the iron pins in his heart. His blood sank slightly, Su warmed his rabbit tail and scratched his waist. He whispered, "Princess's pink light bites back the black shadow rat's face." Chen Feng's animal flood comes to the final navigation. Chen Feng's shoulder hair exploded, his red eyes bulged, and his heart was poisonous. Humanity is always the brainless king. The stupid Princess Pink Light Mist Palace 3.0 self-destructs, the Rat Face 3.0 Black Shadow Ultimate Insider is exposed, the upgraded version of the Minister's Son plus the Parrot Rap Army, the Fat Orange Bell presses the Monster Egg, the Grey Elf on the broom rushes to the top of the tower, the Qin Bald Hound Sulphur bites the rat tail, the Poisonous Rabbit predicts a victory over the dried fish solo. The monster arched to the left and pressed against the grey snow, and the green eyes on the top of the tower exploded GG. I am the most popular in the navigation kingdom. Jiang Chen's mind was buzzing with the animal heart roaring like firecrackers, and the fat orange hair, sweaty and smelly dried fish scum was rekindled in his heart, Orange King's bells, monster squash. Rat face, dark shadow, orange butt, revenge, navigation road sign, egg. Invincible. The broom spirit dust whirred and screamed in his heart, the top of the grey snow tower is clean. The rat shadow and the green light dust maze fight back, and the rabbit demon reads the mind and commands the Grey Alliance. Qin Feng Hound's sulphur honey-locked green eyes roared, and his throat trembled, the ghost in the black shadow rat's face is broken, the blue light animal army is coming. Jiang Chen gritted his teeth and laughed wildly. The blue light wand buzzed and listened to the flood command. Reizu warmed the rabbit ears and swept his face. The orange fragrance was fragrant and the hot-blooded golden light exploded his heart, Chen Feng bursts into flames. The fat orange bell presses the monster to turn left, the broom grey right arches the top of the tower, Teacher Qin's hound sulphur bites the rat's tail, and the princess's pink light turns to the navigation light and bites the black shadow. Su Nuan swung her rabbit tail wildly and pumped the mist powder, clenching her fists, and her cute voice trembled with excitement. Rabbit Boy reads the mind of the final boss navigation. The Animal Alliance Warcraft Legion is blissful, and the anti-killing dried fish sprays at night. Passers-by listened to the crisp ding bell of bells in the black mist, and their footsteps scurried around with the blue light buzzing through the mist. The fat orange rolled down the World of Warcraft egg with a squeak and squeaked, the orange hair was broken, the sweaty odor in the heart was ecstatic, and the pig was humming with ecstasy. Variant, Orange crushes the Road of Warcraft. Bell Navigation Dried Fish Revenge Max, Rat Face 3.0 Orange King's Lunch. The broom gray snow whooshed, wrapped in dust and danced on the top of the tower with green eyes winking. Screaming, the top of the gray road tower is invincible. The black mist of the Rabbit Alliance is blissfully clean. The Qin Fengqi hound snorted and bit the rat's tail with sulfur honey. Click, the black shadow screamed ouch and screamed strangely, running around with his feet roaring and full of friendship. Jiang Chen's animal heart is finally reversed. The hound's sulfur bites the inner ghost, and the Academy's black mist laughing stock turns to glory. The Animal Alliance surged to the top of the tower like a flood, roll, bells, gray snow hounds, blue light and pink swirls gathered together, and the black shadow rat-faced green light wand summoned the parrot rap army. Continuing, my poison rabbit prophecy is full of Yugon solo. Jiang Chen's blue light wand pierced the green mist and read the mouse shadow's heart. Rabbit Alliance is invincible. Yugon regrets it. With a bang, the green light on the top of the tower disintegrated and the black shadow appeared. It turned out to be the minister's son with an upgraded mouse face, wearing a black robe, and green eyes. He was kneeling with his fingers shaking violently, and his nose was bleeding. Phase inner cesspit nuclear explosion, parrot rap shadow's revenge failed. Princess Bunny Girl Jiang Chen's mind-reading gods, the ghost inside the dried fish will never die. The whole school's black fog, hoo-hoo, cleared away and the golden lights lit up the colorful flags again, pop-pop, and danced wildly. The dried fish was steaming hot, passers-by and freshmen stared with bulging eyes, hugged their knees and rolled to the ground, their fingers trembled and roared in worship. Jiang Chen's mind-reading animal association, the final boss of the alliance, is reversed. The black shadow rat face explodes GG, the Princess Pink Light Navigation Queen worships Max Dried Fish Yongla. The king's golden claws slapped his knees and laughed, his throat trembled, the black mist magic skill of the Rabbit Alliance. The rat-faced ghost talked about the dried fish banquet and will be remembered forever. Qin Fengqi's trembling hound licked Jiang Chen's palm, which was wet and itchy, and roared with trembling throat, hero partners with the Animal Army Guards. Black Shadow Parrot Rap Palace sequel, the Friendship Alliance Academy is invincible. The iron-armed Duke hugged the minister's son with his iron arms and roared with a muffled sound. The source of the gossip at the rat-faced Black Shadow Tea Party has been fully exposed. Moana protects the short rabbit. The alliance bowed to the dried fish and made peace. Lee Fat Pig Monster, pressed the fat orange bell on his shoulders. His heart collapsed and turned into ecstasy. The mind-reading noble finally saved Pig Humph. The black shadow of the shoes resolved the grudges with the dried fish, and the Rabbit Alliance worshipped. The fat, jingling bell of the dried orange fish echoed in the square, and the aftermath was heard in the heart. The Orange King squashed the rat's face. Enjoy the black mist dried fish. The college orange is invincible in the final chapter. Su Nuan's rabbit tail hooked Jiang Chen's waist with hot and itchy pink fists, and the sweet tangerine fragrance hit his nose, and he winked cutely. Rabbit Boy grew up to be a mind-reading king, from an unlucky ghost to an aristocratic hero. The misunderstanding was resolved in the CP Fish Night heating up Max, and the rebellious daily life continued. Get up. Jiang Chen's gold-tipped aristocratic badge, ding dong, flashes with blood, soaks his feet, and the pain turns to warmth. His forehead and heart are filled with iron pincers. The golden light bursts forever. He pulls the white hair on Chen Feng's shoulders and gently rubs his red eyes. He whispers, partner of the poison rabbit, from the newborn in the Rabbit Alliance to the legend of the kingdom, the animal complains about the dried fish solo forever. Chen Feng's red eyes bulged and he prophesied in his heart that he was ecstatically broadcasting the after effects of the machine gun and dominating the hot search rankings of the pet network kingdom. The dark shadow wins the hemp and finally wins. The growth arc of a brainless human being is rare. The the stupid princess rebels against the queen and the orange dominates the audience, and the college's daily warm-up new crisis, Kingdom Border Warcraft Rat Face 4.0. Poison Rabbit Alliance National Navigation Fish Empire is on the way. The whole audience of ministers and guards hugged their knees and fell to the ground with trembling noses and screams in worship, Twin Heroes Rabbit Alliance. The Black Mist is reversed, the legend of Yongle in Kingdom Academy. The king's golden car, Laolu, held up the dragon claw in front of the dried fish banquet table to send a message to all Ellen, Jiang Chen, the eternal hero of the Su Nuan Rabbit Alliance. The magic is out of control and makes the kingdom laugh every day, and the new adventure of dried fish is increasing. The afterglow of the fireworks, the buzzing of the golden tower, the flashing ringtone, the faint green-eyed rat shadow flickering in the night fog on the border, the click, light footsteps, the new crisis hook of the kingdom is quietly pulled, the Rabbit Alliance's passionate blue light wand is clenched, the adventure continues amidst the cheers of the celebration. The tail corners of the smoke from the fireworks continue to whir, and mysterious black shadows flashed with rat-eye green light and pat-ta-ta footsteps on the top of the tower. Chen Feng's red eyes bulged and the alarm bells in his heart rang wildly, the ultimate villain Rat Face 3.0. The college is preparing for an own nuclear explosion, and the final showdown of the Poison Rabbit Alliance begins. Jiang Chen's mind was buzzing and his heart was sinking slightly. The blue light wand was clenched, and the mysterious hook was quietly pulled in the celebration cheers.